Keys.
Peace.
You're watching Cannabis Culture News live. I'm Jeremiah Vandermeer, editor of Cannabis Culture and Pod TV, here with my man Johnny B and Tracy C on the couch.
We got a few people here.
Yeah, and
they're lining up now.
Man, what's going on? And yeah, there's more people.
Sam in the
Now I'm going to switch the other cam on here. Oh, it's still a little high there, but you can see Mr. Opus and Carly Marley on the other couch there. Carly Marley's eating something. We got Sam in the house. Hey, Sam.
In the house.
We're just live on the air right now, my man. Yeah, and here we are. So, big show today. We're going to be talking about Sarah Sunday's Karma Cup today on the show.
With a big smile.
I call the episode Sarah Sunday's Good Karma. It's the name of the episode today, actually. And so she'll be up soon. We're not talking to her quite yet, but we'll bring her. She's actually in the studio here, all the way from the Far East, you could say.
The Far East. Appreciate that. This is great.
That's what I call Toronto.
Have you seen where the lighter is?
I call it the Far East. What's that? What do you need? A lighter? And we have, I see.
Let that go. I'll punch you
We
right
have
in the face for following.
Tracy just back from...
we can't start the show without at least lighting something up. We were kind of distracted and
I don't have my
trying
bong
to get
in
things
front
going.
of me.
There's no bongs. Can someone run up and grab the bong?
Can you grab the bong? That'd be nice. You know, I'm looking at the chat here, and it's not... There's something wrong with it today. It's not working.
We're not live today.
We might not be.
Are we live?
Let's find out.
Anybody want to check the
I'm going to bring up a chat window so we can tell if we are or not. But I wanted to talk to Tracy, since she's on the couch down here, about her little border excursion. I
had a border
I can't remember
excursion.
if you told us last show or last week or something about
Well, last show, I showed up at the end of the show after my excursions at the border, and I couldn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
So I got some advice for people that are crossing the border.
Can we have it?
Don't travel with anything in your car that even has a website on it. Ship everything, print everything on the other side of the border, because Border Patrol found a hoodie in the car that said weedwoman.com, and then they looked at weedwoman.com, and hi. I was all over that, and then they Googled me. And so me and my two other friends that were in the car with me, we spent 7.5 hours at the border. And
Fun.
I was prepared for this because I haven't traveled to the States in years. I've been doing a lot of things in weed for the last 12, 15 years. So the States had always kind of scared me anyway. So I kind of tried to make sure that all my I's were dotted and my T's were crossed before I left. And I knew what I needed, that I was going to be legal and I was going to be okay going across. So, and I'm a medical user. So when they asked me about cannabis, I said, yes, I'm a medical user and I have my paperwork and I had all of that. Unfortunately, they asked my two compatriots a question. And that question was, have you ever in your lifetime consumed marijuana?
Oh, Jesus. What a brutal question.
And it's a brutal, because here's the thing, and
You can't lie.
You can't lie, because
No.
here's the issue, is that if they think you're lying, they do have the option to piss test you, and that's going to go so much worse.
Yeah. And
So-
it's a federal crime to lie to one of those guys.
And it's a federal crime to lie to one of those guys. So, unfortunately, I guess my compatriots in the car said yes, that they had consumed, and they were recreational users that they hadn't used in months. Didn't matter. They now needed waivers.
Jesus.
So
Waivers. I smoked marijuana one time when I was
So
12
they
years
say
old.
that's going to cost you about $580 and could take up to a year. Most of the people that I know
About
have
3
spent
years.
thousands of dollars now, and it's taken them years, and they're still waiting, and you have to renew it, and it's a nightmare. So that's kind of where we were. We came back to Vancouver because we had dead cell phones. The rest of the Happy Cats and folks had kind of gone on without us, and I just figured I would book myself on an Amtrak train the next morning. So I booked myself on the Amtrak train, and when I went Friday morning, they took one look at it's called the Sigma number, which is the incident number of my first border crossing.
Sigma number.
And all they took a look at was, this, and denied. They didn't look at the notes.
Yeah.
So they just looked at that and went, get the fuck out. and kind of unceremoniously, like, just kind of escorted me out of the train station.
Yeah.
And I admittedly, by that point, just kind of sat amongst all the luggage and cried for a few minutes because I really wanted to go to Seattle and check it all out.
It's lame.
And it's frustrating when you like, you go through, it's like, going through a really tough exam, and it was like, I passed, and then they took the grade away from me,
Exactly. No, it's unfortunate.
So I went back to the border this morning.
Yeah, so you missed the trip, though.
So I missed the trip completely.
Yeah.
I spent some time in Toronto and got some tattoos. Some time in Vancouver and got some tattoos.
We saw one of them on
the
shoulder there.
Yep, there's one. The other ones would involve me. Go to my Instagram.
What's your Instagram? Just so they know?
Bud Babe T.O.
Bud Babe T.O.
Bud Babe T.O. on Instagram. And there's a commemorative tattoo, a large piece on my thigh now.
Oh. Do we have the thigh cam? Oh, no, you have pants on. Oh, that's
I
a shame.
got pants
Terrible
on.
shame.
I got pants on. I'm sorry.
First time ever.
I didn't think of costume. Yeah, first time ever.
Usually just pantsless on the show. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can
Neil
do
might
this.
have a pair of shorts you could borrow.
Hold on.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah, here we go. Thigh cam.
Here we go.
Show off some leg here, Trace. Woo! Oh, yeah. Whoa. Wow. Yeah, how far can that go there?
So it's a little scaly at the moment. I need some lotion. It's true.
Oh, wow, cool. It's kind of... Kick it out this way a little more. So it's like, yeah, there we go. That's the way it's done. Very cool.
So this was actually an edition we did yesterday with Opus and with Memu and Jade Ridge for the POW Prisoners of Weed 420 in the United States.
That's so cool. Oh, yeah, whoops, sorry, you need the mic.
Yeah. I forget about the lack of microphone.
Yeah.
But that's
There
a
we go.
tattoo. And the POW 420 was added yesterday.
Yeah, so what's that all about?
So Adela Falk, who is one of the ladies who is now tattooed on my leg, she is Weed Woman USA, and she's part of a group called POW 420, which is Prisoners of War 420 or Prisoners of Weed 420, depending on how you want to look at it. And what they do is they set up, they write to prisoners in prison, people that are still serving time for marijuana crimes, write letters to them, make sure they've got money for commissary, that kind of thing. And when I heard about what Adela did, I was like, oh, geez, like when Mark Emery was in prison in a U.S. prison, I wrote to him because he was somebody that I knew, and we weren't friends when Mark went to prison. Like we knew each other, but
Right. Fellow activists.
But I wasn't, like, I'm going to write Mark Emery a letter until he was in prison, because I thought, well, God, it's got to suck to be in there every day and not... what do you do? So you read letters. And I wrote to Mark while he was in prison, but I'd never even thought of writing a Canadian prisoner. And I don't even, so we're going to take a look at maybe contacting the John Howard Society or wherever we can to find access to prisoners who may still be serving time and just start a letter writing.
Ready to serve time.
That's a great idea.
Or waiting to serve time. There may be a few of those, especially with the mandatory minimum.
The prison pen pal
on that note, I've been talking to a lot of people who are trying to... Today is the deadline for the dispensaries. I think it's a hot topic that we'll get into because they're... I just left some people who are scared that tomorrow, if they didn't get the letter, that police are going to start busting some of these places and people are going to start ending up in jail. And
right, if you didn't get your...
Well, this thing, if you
forms
didn't get it in, you didn't get it in.
You didn't get it in.
Yeah.
And are they going to start raiding in the morning? Is it going to be a weekend of going around to these places that didn't get their letters in and stuff like that?
That's a very
So,
good question,
Right,
Here's-
John.
here's my-
it's
my question
there's a
to you,
lot
John.
of stuff going on, and the letters got to be written and stuff.
So-
I'm really in
all right.
support of that.
So, what was there an amount of money that people had to pay to get their application in today?
Yeah, $100.
So 100. So, I guess my question would be, what excuse would any dispensary owner have
Well,
for
you
not
know
getting
what?
their paperwork in by today?
There wasn't a big mad rush
Good
of
question.
people going down to do this, and
There wasn't? I thought there was.
Well, from what I was told.
What do you mean? Oh, Neil says Marijuana Party of Canada. Neil says they're going to be going under the Marijuana Party of Canada. I think some people are planning on fighting the current regulations. Some of the dispensaries in town just wouldn't be able to get a lease for that kind of thing, or have their,
They don't have the money.
They're in a location that's in one of the zones where they're too close to either a school or too close to one of the other dispensaries that they have, the unfair competition.
And I think
whatever.
a few of them are just going to do it at a sheer fucking civil disobedience.
Probably.
And that's what we're
And they
afraid of.
should.
And are they gonna turn around? Is this gonna start turning into people ending up in jail and bus and stuff like that? We're afraid of. It's going to be really. It's kind of. We're walking on water.
The
right
thing
now,
that's
right?
being unsaid that really gets me, and I'm working on a piece about this right now. There's actually a second set of rules. So we have the bylaws here in the city of Vancouver, and then there's what the police say and what the police want. And at for the second information session, Constable, or I guess he's a Sergeant, Mike Sir, was there from the VPD, and he was telling us that anybody who wasn't following the MMPR rules would be closed down.
Told you.
And that's craziness. So people stood up, like Sam and other people stood up and challenged those things. And eventually afterwards, we had a conversation with him and again challenged it. And he had to backpedal a bit and say, well, it's
what they're trying to
if they follow
implement.
the system that's there now. And we asked him if they would put these rules down on paper, if the VPD would say what specifically people can do to not get busted. And he said no. He said they wouldn't put official stuff down on paper.
Were they asked though, or are they aware to say we have a court challenge against that? What if we win that court challenge? I mean, why would you even come up with that before that court case is dealt with?
Which you talking about? Which court case?
The Allard injunction.
The Allard case.
Allard, yeah.
So because that will throw a big wrench into the MMPR.
Well, I told him that the MMAR is virtually gone except for the injunction. So.
Well, I said, and depending on what happens with that injunction, this could be a whole new ball game tomorrow. If we get a decision on that Allard injunction on Monday, it could be a whole new what the fuck.
Totally.
Yeah. All those regulations at City Hall's gone down.
And then
they go out the
once
window.
the election's done, then we'll have a decision.
Don't apply.
Sam is saying
also
about the CDSA. But here's the thing: is how's the police force going to go in and bust you when they have a set of bylaws where you're paying $30,000 and you're paying your $30,000 and then you're
but
just
the
because
white
you
elephant,
didn't.
where are you getting your weed from?
Well,
where are you getting your cannabis?
Today you didn't pay $30,000. You paid $100.
$100
That's right,
for
only
an
100 today.
application.
Happy 420.
419, 1 minute warning.
Woo! Oh, Johnny's got
420.
420.
Oh, it's 420.
He's just a little slow. So, yeah, that's kind of a distressing thing here in the city of Vancouver. We'll see how it goes this week. And apparently there's been, the Lime Life was raided, and they were claiming that this was organized crime, and that's why they shut them down, because they were selling to kids again. They pulled the old Neil Magnuson technique on them.
Here's my question, though. I walked here to CCHQ today.
Yeah.
And I walked by a Lime Life dispensary. It was open.
On Granville?
Yeah, I guess it was on Granville. I don't know what street it was on, but I mean,
They have several locations.
It was Limelight. It was it was.
Well, as soon as they
one
get
of
raided, they just open back up again. So, and what's the
as it should be.
The cops are just going to keep spending resources to eliminate them, I guess? Seems like a waste.
No, Lime Life has several locations. So,
Well,
they have one on
it's kind of
Granville. They have one on Broadway near Canby. They have one on Broadway in Rupert.
Okay.
They have several.
So
locations.
then I always
Like
find that
weeds.
kind of funny too. It's like it's kind of
They
like,
busted
okay.
one of the Weeds locations that he sold the kids with the cookies. So
Yeah.
we're seeing these individual ones being more or less targeted.
Which
maybe.
is great because it's like, they're not going after all of them. They're just going after the ones that are breaking the rules, apparently, or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
and now I don't know anything about Lime Life. I don't want to make any speculation or claims. But out in the community, I have to say there are whispers that, maybe they don't have quite the stringent rules that some of the other places have.
You know what?
But I don't think that's a problem, really. I don't see why that should be such a big deal.
Well, but I guess I'm kind of of the belief that some of the rules need to be very, very strict.
Johnny?
On yes, okay, you don't sell to kids. Well, medicinally you can sell to kids. I don't think you should be selling recreational to children.
Right.
I just
Right,
don't
if they have
think
a
so.
doctor's note for a kid.
A
that makes
doctor's
sense.
note, but
Neil wants to know what's a child.
I believe, once you're old enough to die for your country, you're old enough to drink, you're old enough to fuck, hey. Well, no, what depends on what do you mean one of them's 17, one of them's
who are we
18, one of them's
talking about?
19? Actually, I believe it was 18, but if it's 17, then it's 17.
Oh, baby.
All right. Well, anyway, I can
microphone.
argue with Neil, who doesn't have the microphone, and it's a matter of opinion. I believe that certain rules should still maybe stand.
Yeah.
However, the city of Vancouver has made it very clear. If you want to be a medical marijuana facility, then put your money where your mouth is and prove it and help patients. And if you want to own a pot store, it's going to cost you $30,000. That's it. That's what the city of Vancouver has told you, right? So if they don't want to follow medical rules at Limelight, that's cool. Pay $30,000 and be a pot store. So that was my little rant for the day.
Licensed dealer, or compassion. So, and there's going to be different ones to be set up. It'll be interesting to see exactly what's going to happen over the next 24 hours, because like you say, now that these regulations have come through here, you have your deadlines. They all got letters. A lot of people have shut down. Jim's Weeds, he's completely shut down. And on the same day that they gave him the letter that everybody got, they also charged Jim Weeds for trafficking in that bus last year that they had. So they're all going to court. They're being charged. Oh. So more letters have to be written.
But my understanding is that he's
opened... this is, I was going to talk about that too. So Jim's Weeds, they were all formally charged at the same day that the letters went out. All the staff members. That was, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah,
and
so, I mean...
Now,
so
is that the one that was next door to the dispensary?
To the dispensary, so now...
Now, my understanding, however, is that he has started to open up other locations in other places.
Oh. That would be his partner, and they changed, and that would have been Don. So Don went his way. And
No. Not in Vancouver.
Oh, well, yeah, he went out to Kelowna and stuff like that.
Toronto.
So is he in Toronto?
Yes.
Oh. I never knew that. See, this is great knowing people here from Toronto. So I never know. Yeah. I know Don is
there is
working
a new Canna-wide dispensary in Toronto.
Okay, and there's also one here in Vancouver, and it's also on, and that has nothing to do with Jim or anything like that.
My understanding was that was them. So
no,
I'm not sure.
at all. They're actually pretty set up, as in to say where when you go in, you look at your product that you want to get, you pick it, and then it's opened up to a drawer and it's already prepackaged and put away.
Well, that's the locations here.
Yeah, so that's what they
Toronto
have there.
was a little different. We had some issues.
We
had some issues with them when they first opened up in Toronto. I had an issue with them when they first opened up in Toronto. One of those things being when they gave out their dispensary cards, when you flipped over their membership cards, it had the patient's diagnosis written on the back of it.
Yeah, but that's, you know what?
No.
I know
that is a privacy breach we are suing Health Canada for. That is private medical information. That can get some people in a lot of trouble in a small town, in no matter where. Do not put that information public.
People in trouble. There's a huge lawsuit against that, and I'm on that list as well.
Yeah. You don't.
My mailman,
I wouldn't want
even though he knew what I was up to, I mean, everybody knew because I'm public. That's besides the point. You don't turn around and do that to people, and they cause people to lose jobs and all kinds of problems. People got kicked out of their apartments.
Yeah. I got, if I carry around a card and saying that, okay, I'm a medical marijuana user, that's that's one thing. But my diagnosis is my business.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Right.
Totally.
So they had to get
a safety risk.
So much. So they get a little talking to. They've now changed their cards.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, there was something we were talking about, is that we really think there should be, and more people need to look at CAMCD, because there needs to be a safety protocol, like a standards of practice. And really, people, safe operating procedures for people, so people know how to run a dispensary, because all these people are coming in going, I'm going to open a pot store.
Yeah.
And they have no idea what the fight has been for the last 15, 20 years.
I think that they probably will. CAMCD might have more adherence because of this new rule that the city of Vancouver has made, allowing people who do follow the CAMCD rules to pay less if they're
I'm hoping it's
a nonprofit society that's run by the members and that kind of stuff.
And I'm looking forward to the fact that two of the longest running dispensaries in Toronto are planning on going through their certification this fall.
Oh, cool. That's good. I'm wondering if two of the oldest dispensaries in Vancouver are still going to be allowed to exist after this regulation process, meaning Dana's dispensaries and the Compassion Club themselves.
I've basically said to both of those organizations, like, they come out, those are the ones we'll fight for.
Yeah.
Like,
we have to.
I'm in Toronto. If they try to close down the BCCS, I'll fucking walk here.
Yeah.
Like,
you might miss the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's the fight, because, I mean, they paved the way for everyone. and
It's
they got to
ridiculous.
be able to stay.
And because the school moved next door to them after they were there,
Well-
there should be make some allowance. I mean, at the very least.
And the school actually takes their students there
Yes.
to learn about botany and cannabinoid
it's a
systems.
private
like,
school. The
And
one
and
across
it and
from
it
the-
still comes down to it. The regulations set, and they're not gonna. You can try and make an amendment to it. And I know there's been some conversations and stuff, but it's. We talked to Dana too. We don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna start waking up tomorrow, and we'll find out. See what happens. Really, that's.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot we're going to find out in the next little while here.
Well, what I think is interesting is I'm already starting to see it. I'm here and I'm starting to see it. Is there are people that floundered and have tried to put together and may not meet the deadlines here now, but there are a lot of them now looking to move. So now that the market is flooded here, I'm expecting to
Other
see
places.
a lot of
already
dispensaries in places
popping
like
up.
Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto. Like they're going to start popping up all over the place right now because these people have investors,
Yeah.
they have meds, and they need somewhere to go.
Yeah, totally.
So I was actually sitting in the dispensary talking to Dory the other day, and she got a phone call from a Toronto landlord who had some questions because he had somebody,
Oh.
a dispensary who wanted to rent from him.
Oh, good. We need to export the idea everywhere, overflow. All the people who had the balls to do it here should take their balls to other places.
Exactly.
Everywhere. Right across
Winnipeg City Council members already said in the media, in
Yeah.
mainstream media, that we need to adopt Vancouver's stance and get regulations. And he literally said, let's get ahead of this because they're coming no matter whether we like it or not. So
Yep.
at least he's got enough foresight to realize
Two of them, two
he can
councillors
see
said
what's
that there.
coming. He says, he said, I believe was, these things, they're going to keep opening these up. And I mean, regardless of what he feels about us or these, or
And they
the
are.
fact is he knows they're coming and,
you
he
can-
wants regs.
and you
And
can-
that's good.
You can talk to people that were involved in, trying to establish LPs and stuff early on in the program before the monopoly happened. I know myself, one of the companies I consulted with, like the mayor of the town called them from his house on a Sunday night and said, "Welcome to town." They were so so I mean, there are lots of places. Oh, and I get to hug somebody.
DML's in
Yay!
the house.
I've been waiting to hug him for like 2 weeks.
David Levine.
David Mamo Levine, I'm going to get hugs.
Yes.
But, yeah. So, I don't know where my train of thought was.
Yeah,
I
we
got
lost
distracted
it
by
all
the
'cause of
awesomeness
Dave.
that is David Mamo
Yeah.
Levine.
Well, that's cool, but we were talking about all kinds of stuff. Trace, I'm glad that you got your border stuff fixed, so then theoretically next time you go down, you should be cool.
I will be back in about 8 weeks to.
Test it out again.
Well, no, I'm not testing it out. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to
okay.
hang out with some folks and maybe a dog or two.
Oh, that's fun.
That's-
Yep.
yeah. When
Yeah.
you come back,
Yeah.
you should join us on the show.
I'm looking forward. Yeah, you're coming back. We're going to.
Going to hang with some
When do you
puppies.
go home?
It's a puppy deal.
It's a puppy deal.
It's
Puppy
a puppy
deal.
gig.
Yep.
And I hear you got some other surprises lined up.
Puppies. It's
We'll
all
have that
about
on the
puppies.
next time you come back, you'll be on my show.
Yeah. Well, anyway, actually, I think
Tracy,
Monday. I'm
when are
leaving.
you
Monday.
back- when are you back
Monday.
in
Yes,
Toronto?
you're going to be here Monday on the show.
I will be back in Toronto because I am hardcore. I'm taking the red eye home so I can hit
Tonight?
the ground running. No, I leave Monday night right after Opus's show.
No, she's coming
Sarah?
on. The
Sarah's-
420 Lifestyle show is going to be changed up this week a little bit.
Cool.
I just want to plug that real quick, and then I'm going to get off the couch and open up
I'm
some
leaving
space.
too. I'll be back Monday, but then I will be gone for
don't
8
do
weeks
anything.
and back to Toronto, hit the ground running in Toronto on Tuesday morning.
But Carly here
And
beside
start
me.
baking cookies right away.
We'll be
cookies.
back on Monday on the 420 Lifestyle Show. Tracy's going to join us. I think Sarah's in the house. She'll, I think, be coming on as well. We'll talk more about stuff then.
Yeah.
I'm giving up my seat to
yeah.
Sarah now.
All right. So I'm out of here too.
Thanks,
man.
Opus. Oh, you're out of here too?
Well,
Right now?
I got to do some. Yeah,
Oh, you got- he's
I'm just
gotta
getting
make
off
the
the couch.
rounds. I
Yeah,
see.
no, I'm getting. Got the new Fuck Harper shirt on today though.
That one's dope. Wait, the other one was black with the white, and that one.
Yeah, I got a black and white. Now I got a white with black.
thanks,
so,
Trace.
I had to make sure they didn't fuck up. I asked the guy. I said, "You haven't been smoking weed out back with that other guy, because I don't want like white letters on a white shirt." Right. So.
Are we getting Sarah
Thanks,
back
Jared.
now?
White letters on a white shirt wouldn't do it.
Calling Sarah.
Yeah, so
Are we doing?
I think
Neil?
what we'll do is bring up Sarah Sunday, and I did want to talk to DML, but hopefully he can stick around for a little bit. Dave, are you in the house for long?
I'm in the house for a while.
Okay, and we got May Moon in the house too.
We We got lots of people in here
The whole-
to
the
talk. So
place
you
is
know what?
filling up.
I'm probably
So Sarah, paging Sarah Sunday to the front desk.
We got a big
please.
fat joint for you to
Johnny
smoke.
B to slide over.
Okay.
So Sarah Sunday, good friend of mine, from the other side of the map. You can go this way. Johnny's gonna get out for a sec. He's gonna let you in first. And yeah, so Sarah has for the last, what is this one? The second annual now? I guess it is. Second? Yeah. So in the works last year, and an amazing successful one. I wasn't there to witness it. The Karma Cup, the first annual. This year we have the second annual coming up, October 16th. Wait, what's the dates?
It's 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Nice, yeah. Cool, so good to have you on the show, Sarah. In the flesh.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me.
Very nice to have you here. Hold on, I'm going to turn this
I'm
up.
settling.
There we go. I got your mic up a little bit. Yeah. So, the Karma Cup, of course, last year I heard about the success and how everybody said it was a pretty dope cup. You kind of do things a little bit differently than everybody else does. And you and I have talked about this over the genesis of the whole thing. And
yes.
You have kind of a philosophy, I think, that goes with all of it. We've probably talked about it a little bit before. But
Yep.
Tell us about what the Karma Cup is and how it's different from other cups.
I'm just all about delivering value. So I'm trying to give the judges a really good time, give them as many great samples as I can find for them, a really wicked swag bag filled with tons of stuff, a really good party, lots of food, drink, be merry. Well, not drink, but smoke, be merry. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Flasks and jacket.
Yeah, it's a multi-day event. You're getting a lot of value for the judge. And then I'm also looking to deliver value for the competitors, right? Give them a good judging. We have like an online ballot that looks at all the different criteria that basically make good weed or dabs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we use, sophisticated calculations.
Oh, algorithms.
Yes, to determine, to count up all the votes and determine a winner. Basically give every single sample a score, and all that information, like the score and all that stuff, will be released, and every entry is listed in order.
Cool.
It's not just the first, second, third.
I see. Okay, so you have all of them. You put out the whole entire thing. You got it all the way down to the end.
Yes.
That's cool. I like that.
Yes, and we also have like an online portfolio where I've had pictures taken. Well, last year I took the pictures, which you can kind of tell. And this year I've got a photographer and more lighting and more lenses, and so he's going to do lovely pictures. And we have information like when the entry is taken in, I ask them information about like how it was grown, if it was if it's hash or oil, like how was it made, all these things, so that we can have information to include on this portfolio. And then
so there's some vetting of the
and
the
that all
stuff.
goes out to the social media as well. People like to be sort of weed nerdy. They're into like researching and looking at pictures and comparing and so I think it satisfies like people that aren't even going to be at the competition. They're going to get something out of it too because they can like read about it.
That's very cool. I like that philosophy. Now the weed, you actually give it out in advance.
Yes, we give it out 2 weeks in advance. This year it's going to be October 2nd. Last year we had 79 entries, and it was a little bit difficult for people, especially full-time, people who had full-time employment, to judge because there was just like so much.
Yeah.
So this year they basically demanded more time, so I'm giving them 2 weeks, and it's over a holiday weekend too.
Yeah.
So even more time. I took your spot.
Give her a dab. He just roasted me with that delicious. What was that? That was so good.
I know, it's not good.
Man, that's tasty stuff. It was so clean. It was like iceberg clean.
Hello? Well, just more little techniques of trying to find different ways of working. Well, I really like putting it into coconut oil now, but I'm going to forget that.
Oh, is that where that taste comes from?
No, that there is just, it's a different cure. I'm leaving it in the freezer for a lot longer and putting it into a
Gotta enter it in her
bag to
cup.
get rid of moisture. And I'm going to give her a dab.
Should be entering some stuff in her cup.
No more entries.
So entries, 79 entries.
Yes.
79?
And
Last year.
Oh, how many this year?
Who knows? The way potheads are.
How many? Do you have an estimate at all? Can you?
I cannot even hazard a guess at this
No.
point.
Do you think it'll be more?
Lots of people have
or
told
less?
me that they're going to enter.
Yeah.
So it's like having a party. You invite a lot of people, and a third show up. So
Right.
I honestly, I am up at night worrying about it a little bit. So
Of course.
yeah.
Now, but when you have that many entries, though, I mean, if you say you have 150 people that want to go in, is there a limit to how many you'll take?
I have packaging already made for 120 bud and oil.
Wow.
I don't know that I'll hit that, but I just didn't want to run out. So I guess that's like feasibly the limit. But
Cool.
I really don't want to deny anything
anyone
that's
on.
of decent quality.
Yeah.
If we're doing lab testing this year, so if we get some crap, something that tests out having mold or something in
I'm
it,
butting
then
in a
that's
little bit.
certainly I'd like to go
Um,
send
Tracy
that
The
has
back.
a
Waken
question.
Bakery is going to be a bronze sponsor, so you get
Oh.
something in a goodie bag.
Oh.
And someone I know might be also competing.
Be offered what?
There might be somebody from that Waken Bakery competing as well.
Oh, a competition.
So,
entry.
maybe if you want to try some stuff, you should, get a ticket.
Yeah,
'Cause
there's
you get
very
some
few
stuff.
tickets left.
Get some deliciousness
I'm being very
with
picky
your
now.
ticket. So she's being picky about some. Oh, Kiwi's in the house. The Heady Hunter himself.
Oh my.
He's got the full steez with him. She's gonna show us what's what.
Apparently.
The shit that we've never seen before
It
is
was
what I
the-
always say
That
about
was
Kiwi
really tasty.
Oh
when
my.
he comes to the
Is that your
show.
present?
Yeah.
And Mark
Yeah.
Elyas just walked in the door too. He's also on the show today. We're gonna be talking some liberal stuff. JT, the other JT, bringing sexy back to politics and wanting to legalize marijuana. But anyways, we'll get into election stuff too. That's sexy, according to Neil. So, Karma Cup.
Yes.
This year, people can get tickets right now online, right?
Yeah, I mean, what you need to do is you need to go to the website and you need to apply to be a judge.
Apply to
Yes,
be a judge.
everybody has applied.
Oh, and so is there a
I'm not
vetting
just taking
process for
anybody.
this too?
Yes,
Like-
there's yes. I look at it and decide.
Oh, so it's an elite core group
yes,
of judges
it's of
then.
me. I take responsibility.
I see.
Yeah.
You appoint the judges.
I appoint the judge,
Right.
and the judge makes it. The board makes a decision.
So
I take
how
the
many
board and
judges?
I bang it on the table, and I
so
say
what
yay
would
or
get
nay.
somebody disqualified?
If basically,
Chemicals?
if you don't
Mold?
take the effort to fill out the entry, or sorry, the online form, pretty good idea that you're not going to make any time to actually judge properly or do that. So that's one of my thoughts.
So no entries in crayon and
Well, just answer the damn question. If you can't answer it, I don't know what to say.
That's cool.
I'm not, it is what it
Does that
is.
one
It's
work?
how it goes. It's
and
how
so
the ball bounces.
is there a limit to how many people you can accept? Like what's the
Yes,
venue?
there's a limit. I have very few tickets
6?
left.
wow.
So there's only 150 judges, and I've got very few left.
Right.
So
And it's at Vapor
150
Central
judges?
or
yes,
where?
it's at Vapor Central and at Planet Paradise. I needed Vapor Central for the larger party with the food and everything, so we'd have lots of space. And then, of course, they are so popular, they would not actually give me the space for the whole weekend.
Oh wow.
So I have friends also that have a lovely lounge called Planet Paradise. It's like
Yeah.
it's quite a nice spot, and fortunately for me, they're good friends of mine, and they're really happy to have the event at their,
No
their
kidding.
space. So
Cool, that's fun.
and they're actually not very far from each other, so it might be a nice change of pace. And there's lots of events, and you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Maybe it might be nice to have
And
a
it's
walk.
3 days this time around.
Yes, and plus the October 2nd event where everybody picks up their bags
Right.
at Planet Paradise.
And what happens there? Pardon me. What happens at that first event? It's just a bag pickup. Is there like people
I'll probably
chilling,
have a
puffing
DJ
down?
of some kind.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. People chill, start judging, take a look at what's in the bag, swag bag, and all that. It all gets
150 judges.
Yeah, that's it.
So I need to put 150 medtainers together for.
155. I'm making a couple other for
155.
dignitaries or something.
Nice.
So you're gonna need
If I
to
get
dope.
a musical guest,
Get
worthy
some
of
logos
note, I'll
and-
give them a bag. Here you go. Thank you.
There we go.
Sorry, I have to talk to the mic.
That's you should. Yeah, they want to hear you at home too. But yeah, so I know I like this kind of philosophy that you have of you seem to be really basically wanting this to be something that has some worth to it other than just a bunch of people hanging out.
Yes.
Like there's a commitment to the actual,
Yes.
you know, the product itself and
You're taking
the
a
art that
solemn
goes into
oath
this.
to judge properly. You know what I mean? To
I see. It's
make
like
some
the
efforts,
initiation
right?
happens, the
And
sword on the
and
shoulder.
the time
Yeah.
frame you're giving, it's not like it's happening in a day or two. You're giving them some time so they can. Visual
Yeah.
is going to be probably the first one. That's all people always pick out. I mean, and lots of.
Well, that's the one
I've
thing
taken a
about
look at it
these
first, and
cups
we
that's-
separate the visual.
Yeah.
Sorry, talking too loud.
You can't. I mean, when you go to a regular cup, it's very hard in 3 or 2 days to judge a whole bunch of strains of marijuana and judge them accurately. Where you know, I mean, if you puff down all day long and you're just hitting weed after fucking joint after extract, it's like you can't tell the difference at some point. You know, all of a sudden it just melds in together. So having a bit of time to explore with these things, that's like a cool plan. I like that.
Well, we've got the edibles too, so like that's another whole factor.
Jesus.
I mean, there
How
were
many-
79 entries. Last year.
have-
I can't stress
You
that
need
how
more than 2
difficult
weeks,
that was
though.
for people.
You need 2 months.
Well,
How,
we'll see
how
what
many? How
happens.
many baked goods?
There were 19 baked.
19.
Yeah,
well,
not
that
necessarily baked
alone's
goods,
going to
but-
take 19
Yeah,
days.
well, I
You
tried
can't-
to.
yeah, if you
I
eat
tried
an
to.
edible, gone for me anyway.
19
I get roasted on
edibles,
edibles.
79
I have a
entries,
regulation
3 days
this
to
year.
judge.
No strong edibles, nothing over 100 milligrams.
how
And I have
high
a place
can
that
you
will
get?
test, so I'm suggesting people send it in, get it tested ahead of time, make sure it'll pass, because I'm going to have it tested.
They test edibles. Where's this?
Can Pharmaca.
Can Pharmaca.
Yes, they're in Ontario.
And what
Told
do
me
they test
He
for?
told me 4-day turnaround, I believe.
They test like
All
amounts
sorts
of
of
THC
stuff.
and
Yeah,
things
he's
like
told
that?
me all the C's.
Give it to
and a
Johnny.
Quality assurance.
Throw a
screen.
hunk of brownie in the gas chromatograph.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Hey, I'm down. Sounds good to me.
Well, that's very cool. I'm hoping that I'll be able to go.
No, you're coming.
I'm coming.
I already told you you're coming.
When
So
is
stop
it?
this.
When is it?
I'm-
We have to do the logistics already. I'm
All
trying
right,
to nail you
I'm
down.
ready to roll. I'm ready to
We
roll.
need to know
I wanna
all
be
the
there.
Mark's
details.
coming, and Jody,
Ready?
Jody are coming.
Mark and
we
Jody are
we already
coming too.
discussed it.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Oh, good. It's going to be a
Yes.
fun trip. I haven't
Yes.
been there for a while, so.
And Remo's coming.
Oh,
and Sandy's
Remo.
coming.
Yeah,
Yep.
nice. Oh, it's going to be a fun lineup.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
always nice when we have some of our crew out in Toronto together.
I think there'll be all sorts.
Yeah.
I think there'll be quite a few other people. I'm twisting all arms behind backs and pushing people to the gate. Come on, you're
well,
coming.
I'm glad to be invited, and I'm honored that you want me there, and I am so happy to be there. Because I wanted to come last year. I really wanted to, and I was planning on it, but I just couldn't do it. So, yeah, we'll see all you Toronto folks out there. And that's October 16th to 18th.
Yes, the weekend
16th to
after
18th.
Thanksgiving.
Weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so basically these judges get to like really hit it hard all.
So they get.
Yes,
So
just
they get
before-
Right
their
before the
attack. What,
election,
beginning
says
of
Mark.
October?
Pardon me?
When do they get their? When do the judges get all of their
October
entries?
2nd. 2 weeks ahead of time.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks for
Am I going
judging.
to get a
so that's
package in the
actually,
mail
Yes.
or something?
you know,
Yes.
that's pretty good.
Yes.
That's good. You get
Yes.
2 weeks to
And,
judge.
Cool.
The
Well,
other-
we'll make sure to
yes.
do it all on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll show it all off. The
Yes.
samples.
We'll sample it.
Yes.
For
It's
2
nice
weeks.
to be. See, at most of the cups we go to, you get your samples the day the cup starts, and it's like you're always waiting. They're like still bagging them up. You know, they're like it takes seemingly
A lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot. I can't
So it's
stress
good you
how
do it
much
in
time
advance.
it takes. I'm giving a week to get all that stuff done. Taking all the pictures, putting everything in the bags, doing the gift bags, all that stuff.
What is it that? Why do you think there's just so many people that want to take part in it? Is it that you've done the right kind of networking? Is it that people in Toronto just flock to you? Like, how did you get so many
It's all of
goddamn
the above,
contributors?
really. It's
Yeah,
all the-
you've been
it-
busting your ass, is what I suspect.
I have, and I try to put a lot of effort into things and do a good job and provide value, and I
Yeah.
think that that's basically what it is. I've proven the last cup. Everybody had a good time. They got lots of stuff. Definitely the best weed that we've ever had in any cup in Canada. So
Cool.
and the best assortment, really.
People are
So
digging the Sarah Sunday philosophy.
We've got the social media thing going. We're working on that. I've got a guy that's making it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, your website looks really great, and the cup itself looked great last year in pictures. So I'll be
Thank you
taking
very
some
much.
snaps this
Thank you.
year and getting video. We'll try and do as much as we can live on Pod TV as well.
Yes.
And if I know with the setup at what's
Well,
out
if I
there, so
can,
we'll work that
sorry.
out. With the
If I
crew out
can,
there.
I hope I can make it.
Yeah,
Yes,
are you?
you should.
Hopefully Johnny can come.
I'm definitely will be there, but I might not.
You might have to hitchhike. You could
we'll
roll.
see. Yeah.
Make
You're
a pair of
gonna fly.
roller skates out of Medtainers. Skate your way.
You can go in the bus with Patrick. Oh yes, Patrick is coming, I believe. I mean, he said he was coming, so I'm just going to commit
Redbeard,
for him.
talking
yeah,
about?
I'm just going to commit for him and say he's coming because he hasn't said
Redbeard.
he's not.
That would be
and
so
I believe
cool.
he said his idea was he was going to drive that bus across Canada.
Oh, right. That whole thing.
The bus.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm glad he's going to be there. He can help host the Pod TV shows.
Yes.
We love Redbeard.
Yes.
And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I have a banner of yours upstairs in my office.
Thank you for reminding me because I want the banner.
It's a nice banner, actually.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just remembered that. That's funny.
I found a really good girl in the States to do graphic stuff for me.
Yeah, I like your logo. It looks good.
Well,
All the
that's a
graphics
different
look great.
person entirely.
Cool. Well,
We
it
won't
looks all
talk
good.
about him.
Well, Sarah, I appreciate you coming on. That's
Thank
really
you.
cool. And I appreciate everything. You know, when I go out to Toronto, you're always very nice to us out there, and we have a good time and stuff. And you've always been very accommodating and a good friend to me. So it's really cool that you're here, and it's cool we're going to be hanging out in Toronto again. So it's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll talk again probably before that anyways. And
I think Neil wants to get up here and say something about...
Mr. Magnuson's itching to get over here, is he? Uh-oh, his parking is going to expire. Oh,
we always know
today.
the parking thing.
Neil, you got towed last time, didn't you? Oh shit, poor Neil. He's always he just wants to he talk too long here. He's having a good time and deep in conversation, and then looks at his watch and realizes his car is towed. Thanks, Sarah. All right, yeah, Neil's up first. Hey man, thanks for the video.
I'll be brief.
Neil Magnuson.
Hey, what's going on?
So definitely, just before we get into Neil, check out karmacup.com or CA? TheKarmaCup.com. TheKarmaCup.com is the place. And
cool.
You got Twitter and all that stuff going on too, so check it all out. Neil Magnuson, activist extraordinaire, criminal. Alleged criminal.
Alleged, yeah. Innocent till proven
Drug
guilty.
dealer.
Right.
Yeah, guilty of having flowers.
Selling
apparently.
to kids.
Flower crimes,
Flower
yes.
crimes against the city. Yeah.
So
back in front of the courts again,
crimes nonetheless.
another
You were in court?
continuation of the criminal misuse of public funds.
Yes.
And of course, that's how I start every appearance before a judge, as I say, for the record, this is a waste of the court's time and a criminal misuse of public funds, and it should stop here. But they don't stop, and so she asked me about a lawyer, and I said, well, I was considering such a thing now. And then she asked the Crown, she asked me if I was looking for legal aid, and I said, yes, I would be. And then she asked the Crown, well, is he eligible for legal aid? And the Crown said, no, he's not. We're just looking for a suspended sentence. So by their own admission, the public good is going to be served by giving me some sort of a suspended sentence, and they're willing to spend all of these resources on doing that. Meanwhile, innocent
suspended
till proven
sentence can
guilty.
still fuck up your day, man.
Oh, I'm not pleading guilty to anything.
No.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
It's weird that they won't give you legal aid at all if the prosecutors only want a suspended sentence. What a joke.
It's a farce.
Yeah.
It's a farce. There's no real legal aid if you're only going to be out in money. If they're only going to fine you, give you a criminal record,
but
that
that
kind of
still
stuff.
screws with your job opportunities.
Oh, man.
and a whole
Legal
bunch
aid
of other
is there
stuff.
Big
if you're
time.
going to wind up going to prison or anything like that. It's going to affect you in that way. But
Yeah,
David
well,
knows.
David's looking. David,
I thought that we were
You wanna
entitled
say
in
something?
Canada
You
to
wanna
a
sit
defense against charges,
Why
and
I'll
it's only come down to that being only eligible for those that are facing jail time because there's a lack of funds for that program.
Yeah.
Because they're charging too many people with flower crimes and stuff like that. So I did say to the judge that I stand under common law, common sense, and the common good in saying
Nice.
that the law is irrational, hypocritical, and absurd. But she didn't want me to continue on with that. She then said, started to scold me almost about getting a lawyer. And I said, well, I don't think I need to do any of that until I've had proper disclosure. And she says, well, haven't you? And I said, no, I haven't. And the prosecutor says, oh, yes, he has. And I said, oh, no, I haven't. You told me in my last appearance, I was told there was another batch of disclosure, and there should be, because what they gave me ahead of time was woefully missing all kinds of stuff. There's no certificate of analysis.
The
There's
videos.
Pardon
The
me?
videos. They have
The
videos.
video that's supposed to come,
Yeah.
and the statements by the police are missing all kinds of conversations that we had leading up to that are all very relevant. So anyway, the prosecutor then agreed that was the case, and he showed me that he had made a note of all those things. And so they're going to get on that. But still, I got kind of scolded about make sure when you come back here on the 3rd, you have a lawyer. Well, I don't really plan to have a lawyer with me when I go back on the 3rd. I don't know that I ever plan to have a lawyer with me when I
She
go into
told
the
you
courtroom.
make sure you have a lawyer.
Yeah, she pretty much, that's what she said.
And you can't get legal aid, so tell
And I
her.
can't get legal aid.
So is she going to pay for it? Ask her if she's got
Oh
some
man,
cash
they
she
should
can borrow.
pay all right. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just continues. It's just a farce.
I know who you could
it
get.
should all be dropped.
David Malma-Levine should be your lawyer.
Yeah, David would be a great lawyer.
David would kick some serious ass.
Yeah.
I saw David in court represent himself, and
Me too.
I'd
saw him
actually hire
in
Dave
a
over pretty much
sentencing
any
hearing
lawyer
that
I've ever
lasted
seen.
3 days. He
besides maybe
defended
Tucson.
himself, and he got
Oh,
away
no.
with a 6-month sentence after selling over a ton of weed to 1,000 people for 3.5 years. So that's
Yeah,
pretty
no
good.
shit.
That's pretty good.
I would agree.
So anyway, yeah, that's
okay.
what's
So
going on.
the judge was not necessarily kind to you.
She didn't like me.
No.
She really didn't like me right off the bat. The other ones seemed to be all right, but this one didn't seem to like me at all. So whatever, that's fine.
Well, you can't be liked by everybody.
I don't like any of it. I think that these people are just on the public trough there. They like this whole system of bringing people before the courts and wasting tax dollars on things that are meaningless and of no benefit to the taxpayers whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they don't like me challenging that particular part of their system, but that's fine. That is one of the parts I'm going to challenge, because this is a huge waste of our tax dollars to do what they're doing. In my case, you know, all the money they spent to put Don Briere in jail, which all cost us a lot of money at the time, just a horrendous expenditure of money for, as David says, flower crimes. So
it's unfair and it's ridiculous, and it's just wasting your time, and it's putting you through a lot of crap.
well, I'm having fun.
What's going on with that?
I could be out there being productive.
Using the force to lure the joint over. It's working. So, okay.
What the hell
But I guess,
just happened there? I don't know what that was, but
So you have some co-accused now. I'm assuming they'll get conditional sentences.
well,
or
I don't know that they're really
thrown out.
co-accused. They're two completely separate charges.
Oh, I thought didn't you have? Your obstruction is gone now.
No, my obstruction is gone. I don't know what happened to that. And and they can't use anything in their defense that is about whether or not what I did was right or wrong. Apparently, that's what I've been told by lawyers who follow the system way too closely, in my opinion.
Well, how does that even make sense? Because the argument is that they were doing this because they believe what you were doing was protest action.
Well, it
So how do
actually
you
has
explain
to
the
be
story
because
without
they
that?
believe that what the police were doing was wrong more than what I was doing was
Okay,
right.
well that makes sense.
That's what the lawyer told me anyway. But
Okay.
they did also say that if I can get the charges dropped or if I win my case, that also will bode well for them. So I don't know. It's all, the courts are all weird with their separation of this and that and the different languages.
I just don't
that they
understand why
use.
the Vancouver cops wanted to do this in the first place. Like, what was the purpose
I don't
of
think
it?
this is what they wanted.
Maybe
I'm
it
not
was
sure.
the
I think they
plan.
wanted to
the whole time.
yeah, to intimidate us. I think they were sick of hearing us talk about hug power every time we came there and then successfully doing what we did. So
Yeah, I think they were pissed
know?
that we were rubbing it in their face in that way, or they,
There's a
they
new
didn't like
chief.
they didn't like that there was so much. Yeah, there was a new chief, and there was so much pot at 420 last year, everywhere, on every street.
Yeah.
The hospitals.
It was pretty big.
They, they have had Pam McCall on their ass,
Oh, man.
ring-a-ding-dinging every day, saying 64 hospital visits. Oh, so
I think there was a conversation somewhere up in the rulers of the world.
The
and
ivory towers.
They about 10 or 15 years ago, they were like, if we allow the dealers of Vancouver to deal, even the poor ones, they will no longer be under our control.
Don't worry, my master. We will set up a medical dispensary system where only the upper middle class will be able to afford.
And no
I
one
really
will want
think
to.
a version of that conversation may have occurred somewhere, and they just said, well, let's keep society in a, everyone under everybody else's thumb situation. Keep it hierarchical and just cost thousands and thousands of dollars to participate in this retail system and close a whole bunch of them poor people down. Nobody cares about poor people, and they can't afford lawyers, so they're easy targets.
I also heard there was 27 complaints on Cannabis Day last year from people who didn't like the fact that there was a big smoke fest happening in the middle of the city. They just wanted to have a booze-soaked fest with their red and white balloons.
But wait a second, 27 complaints from who? From Pam McCall?
Maybe, yeah, probably all from Pam McCall.
That's probably what it was.
But
I doubt it was 27 people.
That's
Give
what
me
a lawyer
break.
told me
Who the
anyway.
fuck cares? Nobody cares in Vancouver, do they really?
Well, but, the complaint was, they wanted to just have the red and white balloons for their kids to see and all the rest of it.
Where did
but
you
they're
read-
forgetting
okay, where
about
is
all
this
those fancy
information?
alcoholic drinks and all the fights in the street late at night and all the other shit that happens, when those booze fests happen.
Where
in
did you see
Vancouver.
that complaint info?
That was from a lawyer that I got to spend an hour with talking about my case that wants to help me with my case.
He told you that?
He told me that, yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
I wonder how he knew that. Maybe he's got, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I do want to talk to David Malma-Levine.
Yeah, and I've got to go and deal with a little emergency here, so
Okay.
thanks
No
for having
more-
me on
yeah,
your
as long
show
as
and
your
all
car's
you do.
okay.
I'm not back in court till September 3rd now, so that's what I know.
Yeah. Do ya? Oh, okay, Mark needs to come on too. He's got to leave. David and I will talk quickly. Then Mark's on. Then Kiwi Man's coming on. And Jody Emery's in the house now too, hanging out. It's a busy place down here. Stoner Advisory's in the house. It's packed down here now.
Did you read my article about the
Big house.
dispensary cop?
No, I didn't.
You didn't
I
read my
wanted to.
dispensary
I just
cop
haven't had
article?
time.
Oh my God,
David,
Jeremiah! All the mysteries of the universe
We're
were
trying.
revealed by the dispensary cop,
Yeah.
and now we know, folks, what the police in Vancouver really give a poop about and what they don't care about at all.
So enlighten us about this dispensary cop. What
Yeah,
happened?
well-
you ran into some trouble.
I am the director of the Stressed and Depressed Association, an occasional bud tender there. And on last week, somebody stole from our dispensary using a bear spray can and a knife.
Jeez.
And they came in and they stole $600 from the till and about a grand or two worth of cannabis. And
Wow.
the cops
Grand or
were there
three.
checking out our dispensary, and one of the cops said, "Hi, I'm the good cop. I'm here to investigate the robbery." And then another cop came over and said, "I'm the bad cop. I'm here to see if you're respecting the new regulations."
Oh, and which regulations are those?
Well, he demanded to see whether we had doctor's notes on the premises.
Oh, really? They demanded to see your doctor's notes.
And as luck would have it, the key wasn't there this time, but we're going to have to post a sign. I believe Dana Larson said they have a no show the cop nothing unless they have a warrant policy. And we're going to have to post that policy on our wall so that the cops know that this is what we do, is that if you want to see our medical records of our people, you're going to need
Gotta
a
get
search
warrant.
warrant. Yeah, let's
'cause
do
it
this
could
by the
just be
book.
some cop roguing it out down there, trying to
The other-
stick his nose in your business.
The other thing they didn't
Is
like.
that a warrant on an individual basis? I would hope.
Uh,
Per file.
I suppose I should probably make a phone call to Kirk Tucson and ask him that question.
That's probably a pertinent
Maybe I can
question,
wrangle
yeah.
it out
Yeah.
of him without having it cost me too much. But
Yeah, good question.
it's a good question. The other thing is, the other thing the cops cared about was that we were respecting the cards of other dispensaries. At the end of that conversation, I told him I was going to phase out that thing as soon as we can just rely on our own membership. But
Right.
I was thinking, why is it our job to determine whether these dispensaries are legit or not? Isn't that the job you just took on yourself right now by calling yourself the dispensary cop or the reg cop or whatever you are? Isn't that your job?
Yeah.
And shouldn't I trust that you're doing your job? And then I asked him a question that he couldn't answer. I said, if it is true, and I pulled out the booklets that I had co-authored with this guy who has his master's in health and psychology. I said, if it's true that all this evidence proves that cannabis is a preventive medicine to keep healthy people healthy, doesn't that mean you don't have any more targets anymore in the drug war, or at least the marijuana war?
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he's like, I'm not here to answer political questions. I'm just here to discuss the regulations.
Of course.
But I was thinking, there's that old Upton Sinclair quote about people. It's very hard to explain something to someone if their wages depend upon them not understanding it.
Yeah.
And it just occurred to me, that was just one of those moments where the cop was, his face, he had a look of worry, kind of fear like he's facing his own crimes, his own, human rights abuses that he's involved in, and maybe just a little bit scared or just a little bit uncomfortable in some way. And it flashes on his face. You can see it on his face. I was like, you know what? It's not the last time. It's not the only time I've seen that in the last little while. I saw it on the cops' faces at July 1st when I was trying to hand out my book to them. Hey, free book on this worry that you have about cannabis and teens. You know, the one that you use in the media afterwards to justify brutality. Hey, I got some information. I wrote a book. It's fully illustrated, so even you guys can follow along. But none of them would take them. I did not say that. Okay. With my eyes, I said that. With my mouth, I said, would you like to learn about cannabis and teens? None of them would take the book, but I saw on their faces they were uncomfortable with their jobs, and they'd really rather not know the truth about cannabis and teens because it would make it even harder to be brutal against us. And I saw it on the faces of City Hall, the city people, when I was saying, look, yes, here's the proof that cannabis is less harmful than caffeine. Yeah. And I saw it on Pat McCall's face when CBC edited out of my debate with her. Yes. The fact that I pulled out the report that disproved all her schizophrenia hysteria.
And they cut that piece out.
So if these facts, the caffeine facts, the cannabis and kids facts, the stressed and depressed histories, all those facts that I just mentioned now, if they install that fear into the heart of prohibitionists, well, then maybe they're the key to making all these problems go away. If we just hammer away at these people's psyches with the truth, maybe they'll lose the heart to come after us so
convince them by educating them.
Yeah. So I'm asking all the people out there in Pot TV land, join with me in taking this cannabis holy water of cannabis facts and spraying the vampires with it until they learn to stay off the furniture of prohibition.
Yes, the furniture of prohibition.
I don't know. It's a mixed metaphor. I admit that. But you know what I'm saying, right?
I hate all the vampires on the furniture.
The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free enough to grow mountainsides of marijuana. So use the truth with me, because guns ain't going to do it. Guns ain't going to work. Giving up and praying and hoping that someone else will save us ain't going to work. It's the truth that's going to set you free.
You're right.
Oh, and by the way, the stressedanddepressed.ca, we have a new section. The booklet section is expanded. The galleries, the historical galleries are expanded. We have a ton of information on there. If you want a crash course in cannabis history, cannabis anthropology, check out the galleries at the Stressed and Depressed Association. Watch soon for Jeremiah will eventually get around to reading my dispensary comp article and publishing it on the homepage of Cannabis Culture.
Beginning of next week. We're
next
right in the
week
middle
for
of
shizzle.
We're right in the middle of doing the store thing.
Right.
Actually, I'll try and do the article this weekend, but we're going to launch
maybe
the new
even
CC
this
store
week,
at the
folks.
beginning of next week. So
stay tuned for that. The truth will set you free, and we got it in massive doses. We got the super potent truth. That shit that makes you just sit there, stare off into space, and go, wow, that was the truth. That was some heavy shit. We got it all for you on cannabisculture.com and stressedanddepressed.ca.
Thanks, David.
Puffed off, keep your heads held high.
In the chat, they have posted stressedanddepressed.ca. And David, you eat that microphone. You were very loud. Thank you, David. David gave me some gifts here. American Dynasty. Mark Elyas. Hello.
Hi, how's it
How
going,
are
Jeremiah?
you?
It's been a while, eh?
It has been a while, man. I know. You've been on vacation or something?
Yeah, it was my birthday recently. I went to the North Island.
Happy birthday,
It was just on
brother,
Tuesday,
man.
so 3 days ago.
That's very cool. Hold on a second.
It's not cool. I'm older now. I'm too old. I'm 39, so...
Well, you can't help that, man.
At least I still look good. So,
So, did you have a happy birthday at the very least?
yes, I did.
Awesome.
I went with the girlfriend.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and we had a good time.
Nice.
And,
How's the lady doing?
she's doing well.
Awesome.
You
Give
know.
her my best, please.
I will.
She's a very nice person. So, of course, since I've seen you, things have changed politically just a little bit in this country since the election. The writ has dropped. The shit is on.
Yeah, the writ's dropped. It's the longest election in Canadian history. Thank you, Stephen Harper. He wants to spend our tax dollars.
Longest and most expensive?
Yeah, it'll be the most expensive as well. What else? I mean, yesterday, I believe, Thomas Mulcair, the leader of the NDP, came out and said that cannabis would be decriminalized under his government if he were elected prime minister.
Yeah.
But then, he was asked about some details on that. Like, what do you mean? What does decriminalization look like? He refused to answer the questions. But the day before, Justin Trudeau reiterated Liberal policy where those who have cannabis convictions, those convictions will be overturned under a Liberal government when we legalize. And
so not only will Mulcair not legalize, he just wants to decriminalize, but JT will legalize and overturn the criminal conviction.
Absolutely.
So
that's been Liberal policy for 3 years now. So
I've been having a hard time with this because I'm like lots of Canadians who kind of were really hit hard by Justin supporting Bill C-51, and it makes me shake my head, and I really don't like that he did that. But when I look at the differences in what the NDP is proposing and what the Liberals are proposing when it comes to the marijuana laws, man, there's such a huge difference.
There is.
And really, I mean, right now, so many people are suffering because of these pot laws. And, just decriminalization isn't going to fix this situation.
I know. Here's an example. I actually know a really intelligent, entrepreneurial, go-getting kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And he had a job opportunity. It was a 6-figure job opportunity. He made it through the interview. And the only reason he did not get the job, he was the best candidate for this job, and the only reason he couldn't get the job was because he had a conviction for cannabis that was 15 years old.
That's so brutal.
So
yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Having a criminal record can really mess your future up.
Messes your future up. He's a visible minority, so that's why he does have a cannabis conviction.
Right.
It seems like the police like arresting Native people and black people particularly for small amounts of cannabis, making sure that the book is thrown at them and they get the conviction. I mean, judges are...
Yeah, that's something that we don't just see in the United States. We do see that same disparity in the law here in Canada, where I think convictions for people of Native descent are like way, way higher per capita than they should be, like just outrageously high. So it's the same thing like with, black people and Latin people in the United States.
Yeah.
They just go after them way more than they should, and it's the numbers speak for themselves. It's right there.
I've met a guy, a 21-year-old Native kid, and he actually got assaulted by the police.
Yeah.
Some real, the police overstepping their bounds, beating this kid up.
Yeah.
And then they justified arresting him because he had a joint on him. And they arrested him for that joint after they beat him up.
Jesus.
So, and this is here in Vancouver. I mean, this is, now happened about 3 years ago, but still, I mean, it's happening here in Vancouver.
Yeah, it happens all over the place.
These cops
are crazy.
But
man.
people think that it doesn't happen. People think that, in Vancouver, people are not getting arrested for minor possession. The fact of the matter, they are. And chances are it's a visible minority, probably a Native kid who can't afford legal counsel, who's probably going to plea bargain his way out of it when, he shouldn't have been arrested for it in the first place.
Yeah.
And this is Harper's Canada. I mean, you know what? We've got Stephen Harper and the Conservatives who want to throw every cannabis user in prison.
Yeah.
That's their view. Then you've got Thomas Mulcair who wants to keep it the same. status quo. All right.
Yeah.
And the Liberals really want to make some changes on this. We believe in legalizing, regulating it to keep it out of the hands of children the same way we do with alcohol, working with the provinces and the municipalities where they can set their own regulations on age restrictions. I mean, in Alberta, you can drink at 18. In BC, it's 19. It'll probably look the same.
Yeah.
Municipalities are going to have to decide if people will be able to grow personally, where they will be able to grow, how much they'll be able to grow. These are not federal decisions, but getting it legalized and setting some national regulatory standards is where we're at.
You know what I like about Justin is that he's not just using this as like, whenever somebody asks about it, it's kind of like a throwaway thing. He's actually campaigning on this issue.
Mm-hmm.
And he, there was the Winnipeg dispensary bust. We had Glenn Price on the show, the guy who operated it. Now, Justin came out in support of Glenn and of the Winnipeg dispensary that was shut down by the cops, and he said that he thinks that those dispensaries should be allowed to survive.
Absolutely.
And and he went further, and he said, I don't just think it should be medical. I think they should be able to have legal recreational storefronts.
Absolutely.
And he keeps bringing that up and saying that over and over again. So it makes me feel confident that if he does get elected, he will follow through on this one, because he's bringing it up a lot.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, the dispensaries are giving people jobs. They're contributing to the economy. They are paying taxes, They'll probably get taxed a little bit more under a Liberal government when it is legalized, because that's part of our policy is to tax cannabis. But those tax revenues are going to go towards healthcare and education and public safety and all the things we pay for anyways.
Yeah.
It's better than this government where, this is the only Canadian government that's had 2 recessions.
Yeah.
Harper,
these guys are total.
We don't like recessions. We don't like deficits. I mean, we've had, under Liberal governments, I think we had 11 surpluses in a row.
Right. But that doesn't necessarily mean everything. I wanted to bring up something that Sofa Snail said in the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
What about Justin's support for the bill giving mandatory minimums for 6 plants? Now
that's ancient history.
Right.
All right.
That did happen.
That did happen years ago.
Yeah.
Before it became Liberal policy to legalize. There's something different about Justin Trudeau versus the other 2 leaders.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau listens to his activist members. All right. 80% of us, showed up at a convention in Ottawa. I was included in that.
Yeah.
And voted to legalize, tax, and regulate cannabis.
That's right.
As we tweaked the policy, we included overturning cannabis convictions. All right? Justin Trudeau listens to his members, particularly his activist members who are involved in the community, who care about this country. So it's not all about Justin Trudeau,
Yeah.
It's about Canada and Canadians. So he made a mistake.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of like, Justin before was whipped by the party in certain ways. He was a young MP at that time, just got into the party, and he was trying to impress. I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but even I think of it this way. Even Dr. Dre himself is on NWA's first album saying, I still express you, I don't smoke weed or cess. And then he came out and made The Chronic after that.
Of course.
So if Dre can change his mind, then Justin Trudeau can change his mind. And yeah.
Of course. I still have not seen the Straight Outta Compton movie.
Oh, man, it's so good.
Is it? Don't spoil it for me.
I love the Straight Outta Compton movie. I thought Gary F. Gray did a great job, or F. Gary Gray, I guess his name is. He is an awesome director, did Friday. The guys from NWA, Dre and Ice Cube and others worked directly.
Yeah, MC Ren directed it as well. Yeah.
MC Ren. I'm not sure how much MC Ren was working with him. They didn't really show Ren too much in the movie enough for me. I kind of thought they should have put Ren in the movie a little bit more because he's such a significant part of it, even though he didn't go on to be such a big deal. I love MC
You
Ren.
know what? MC Ren was probably the best rapper in that group. I mean,
You might actually. Well, here's the thing. He wrote almost all of their lyrics that Ice Cube didn't write. So Ice Cube wrote all the original lyrics for the first album, essentially, and Ren wrote his own. And then when Ice Cube left the group, MC Ren kind of took over writing duties.
That's
Yeah.
lyrical genius MC Ren.
MC Ren's dope, man. He was pissed off. I just was reading his tweets. He was pissed off because in the trailer for Universal, the movie or whatever, they didn't even put him in the trailer at all. They didn't show the guy who played him once, and he was like, "What the fuck?"
I know.
Yeah. So. And Yella too.
Yeah.
But Yella actually in the movie they gave Yella more even than MC
They
Ren.
gave Snoop Dogg a piece in the trailer. You know what I mean? He's not even part of NWA. Well,
Yeah.
depends on which NWA he was in.
Have you seen it, Kiwi?
Have you? I haven't, but have you guys read the article about the movie written by D. Barnes?
Oh, geez, no, I didn't read the article by D. Barnes.
It's quite controversial. If the audience out there doesn't know who D. Barnes is, she was a MTV reporter that Dr. Dre smacked down back in the day and chucked down a set of stairs.
I remember that.
He threw through a door into a bathroom and then mercilessly kicked her ass on the ground.
So the article that she wrote actually goes comprehensively into all the things that the movie missed and her perspective of what she thought about the movie, which I think would be a lot different from other people's, but still was an interesting counterpoint to all the other reviews I'd read on the movie. I'm a huge NWA fan. I would definitely go see that movie.
I am too.
I'm going in with no
Well,
mind. So
if you listen to NWA's albums, it's not like they're singing about nice stuff either. I mean, there's a lot of misogyny on the albums.
I mean,
One of those. Boom, for sure.
it's not easy being from Compton, right? Like they've
Right.
got a different life experience than most Canadians do. We're blessed in Canada for the most part. We don't have real, especially in Vancouver, there's no real ghettos where gunshots are happening every other day and, it's not that violent. I mean...
And there's not the proliferation of guns out there. So therefore
exactly.
There's not as much violence per se gun-related as there is in other countries, especially
Right,
the States.
Exactly. Even Toronto is not that bad. And I mean, I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood in Toronto. And it doesn't compare to Compton at all.
No.
I'm from Scarborough.
Not when
So for everybody
everybody's
watching
packing
from
down there,
Scarborough, what's up? But
No, it's true. Yeah.
Scarborough is pretty violent, but again, it's no Compton, right? So
No, and I think we've said this before. There's lots of with the NWA movie. I think there was a lot of stories that they didn't tell because the movie was 2.5 hours long as it is. They probably should have thrown something in there about that. That was a pretty big deal when Dre did that whole thing or whatever. But
he executive produced the stuff,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
He's
He
not
probably
going to
wasn't
make
into
himself
putting
look
it in.
bad,
right?
right?
I think
Would
that
you?
Apparently, an earlier draft of the script did include some of it, and they just decided in the end they didn't have time to tell the story. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it's
Or maybe Dre was like, "Fuck that shit."
yeah, probably.
Well, there's a lot of stuff actually that's interesting. Like Jerry Heller said some really weird things. I don't want to get too deep into this, but a really fucked up thing that people should go watch is Suge Knight on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Suge Knight saying that essentially, he didn't really admit it completely, but he was implying that he injected Eazy-E with AIDS. Or had somebody give Eazy-E AIDS.
Wouldn't
to kill him
surprise
off.
me.
But Suge's a nutcase, so maybe he's lying. Yeah, he's a crazy person.
You know what? Suge Knight's the
Jerry
guy
Heller
that's
said he's
responsible for
suspicious.
killing Tupac. All right. If there was no Suge Knight, Tupac would be alive. So
I'd say
fuck Suge Knight.
I'd say yes. Yeah, fuck Suge Knight. Yeah, and Biggie too. Again, we probably shouldn't go too deep into this, but there's information right now. There's a book out there called Murder Rap, which is written by the lead investigator into the death of the Tupac murder and the other murders. And he says, and actually the guy who investigated the Biggie murder verifies it, and a whole bunch of other people, a Rolling Stone writer that wrote an 18-page article verifies it. Puff Daddy and Biggie hired the Crips to go after Tupac, and that's who shot Tupac. And Suge Knight, in retaliation, hired somebody to go kill Biggie.
Yeah,
And
Suge is a blood,
the
right?
Piru,
So
whatever blood gang in California, and they did the other side. So, and the crazy shit is that the LAPD were working for Suge Knight for years. The Rampart Squad and all these nasty cops were involved. They were working for death row. So the cops
That was delicious.
covered the shit up and didn't want all of that stuff to get out. So the murder investigation was never solved. Anybody who got close was revealing too much about how the cops were involved. And Biggie's mom sued the LAPD because the cops were involved, and they were dealing with a court case at the time, so they just buried the entire thing. So. Yeah, it's crazy. She sued him because she said that the cops were involved in the death of Biggie as well. Like that some of the Bloods who actually killed Biggie were LAPD officers as well. Or like, working directly with the squad. It's crazy shit.
The LAPD,
anyways, there's a crazy story.
They're probably the most corrupt police force in North America.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, right?
That's one of the things I thought about this Straight Outta Compton movie is it's a protest movie. It's really about the struggle that these guys had, and they were actually fighting for free speech. They were getting arrested at concerts for saying, what was on their albums. The cops were like throwing them to the pavement, arresting them, shaking them down, and all that kind of crazy shit. Like 2 Live Crew, the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. I remember 2 Live Crew,
Yeah, they couldn't say that stuff on stage.
I remember
it was
Band of the
hilarious.
USA
We were
being
able to
Band of the
buy the
USA.
album.
Yeah, exactly.
We were able to buy the 2 Live Crew album back in the 80s here in Canada,
'Cause
but
of Mark.
Americans couldn't buy them.
That was actually, Mark was the guy who brought those albums up because it was illegal to do it here too. And Mark made a big campaign and took out ads in the newspaper saying he was bringing the albums up and sold a bunch of the albums at his store. It was the only album he ever sold. Was as nasty
2
as they
Live
want to
Crew,
be.
as nasty as they want to be.
Me
I
So
remember-
Horny and all that shit on it.
I think I was in the 5th grade when that came out,
Yeah.
and I loved it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should get back to the topic.
Oh yeah, let's get back to the election here. This is probably the most interesting election. Very important, A lot of Canadians are trying to see. They're sick of Harper, and they're looking at Tom Mulcair, and they're looking at Justin Trudeau, and.
What do you think, Prime Minister Mulcair? I mean, it doesn't have that
I
bad of a ring
believe
to
it will be a Prime Minister Trudeau. Still, I mean, you know what? It's a 3-way race when you account the margin of error. I'm expecting a lot of conservative voters to sit at home and sit on their hands this election because they're not happy
proud
with
of
Harvey.
Steve.
They're not proud of Steve,
There was an article about that saying that it's very hard for the diehard conservatives to be proud of Stephen Harper right now.
Then there's the whole Quebec thing. I mean, 47% of Quebecers right now would vote NDP.
The orange wave.
I don't know if it's going to be the same thing as Jack Layton. Like, Jack Layton was very inspiring.
But wait, by the numbers that are in Quebec right now, this is a orange tsunami rather than a wave. That's really good.
Nothing really comes good out of a tsunami, you know what I mean? Right?
Very clever.
So I really think at the end of the day, I mean, I think Quebec might decide the vote, but there's also BC. We can't. It's a 3-way race in British Columbia. There's Ontario, where the Liberals are doing very well as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing well as a party, the Liberal Party. But it's still a little early. I mean, the writ's been dropped a little too early. Not all the candidates have been selected in all the ridings and all of the parties. I mean, there's still some candidate selection meetings taking place in the future for all parties, including the Greens.
And people are still being red lit.
Yes, people are still being red lit, which is unfortunate. I mean, I'd like to talk about that actually for a second. My friend Wendy Ewan was recently red lit by the party, and she ran for the party twice here in Vancouver. Vancouver Kingsway, which borders my riding. I'm the president of the Vancouver East Liberals.
I forgot to give you the title. I just said you were a liberal marijuana insider, but I didn't say who.
Yeah. President of the Liberals,
Liberals
in Vancouver
Van
East.
East, baby. So there you go.
But I've known Wendy for a long time. Nothing has changed. She's a very successful business owner. She signed up 3,000 members.
So why then? Why the red light?
They wouldn't say. They're not telling her. They're not telling us. They're just.
Who was involved in that?
Mm-hmm.
What name did she drop?
She dropped Raymond Chan's name.
Uh-oh.
I know Raymond as well, and actually he was a very good MP, and he's a very good contributor to the Liberal Party. I'm not sure if the accusation is true or not. If it is true, I wouldn't be surprised, though.
She said what about him?
She basically said that he was going to make sure that she got red lit, and there was a conversation apparently, and there's an affidavit.
Yeah, Jody from the back bench over there.
She did it a little different than Jody. If those who don't know, Jeremiah and I here, we both, along with Russ Miller, we ran Jody's campaign, and it was a very strong campaign. We were going to win that. And that's why they red lit Jody, was because we were going to win that.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of qualified candidates that came out of this thing disappointed in BC and in other parts of the country as well. I mean, I'm not really happy about the red lights that were given and the candidates that were forced out. A few of them are my friends.
But there's a lot of things that I've come to learn about politics. That one that stands out is that sometimes you just go with the lesser of the evils. Sometimes you just have to hold your nose and vote, or do, whatever it is. In my riding, for instance, she has a cool name, that's for sure, Heady Fry. I get to go vote for Heady Fry.
But she's awesome. I wish Heady Fry was running in every riding in the country because she's awesome.
Love that. She looks like a stoner. There's a picture of her in my elevator of it's in those little advertising things on the wall. Her and Justin hanging out, and she looks like her hair is all hilarious, and she looks like her eyes are just totally gone. She looks like a Heady Fry.
But she's
ripped a big
awesome,
gagger with Justin.
She's a doctor. She's been an activist. The West End loves her. The riding loves her. I mean, and the reason they do is because she is an extremely hard-working MP. She has made sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice for her constituents and Canadians all across the country.
I think
she's spoken out against racism. She's spoken out against prohibition. She has spoken out against a lot of things.
I think the problem in our riding over there is that she isn't taking enough pictures with puppies like Chandra Herbert is. There's my elevator, again, obviously a hotbed of political activity in my elevator. There's pictures of Chandra Herbert, who is our MLA there, and he's got tons of puppy pictures and pictures of him with the kids and doing shaking hands with people and things like that.
Well, Chandra Herbert is a very good MLA.
Yeah.
I think he's. I'm hoping he'll vote Liberal federally. He's a provincial NDP.
I doubt it.
I doubt it as well, but
Heady's doing a good,
But Heady's done a great job,
Yeah.
and those in Vancouver Centre know this. And she's going to win Vancouver Centre no matter what. She's one of two MPs in BC, the other being Joyce Murray in Vancouver Quadra.
Who's got it sewed up.
And she's got it sewed up as well.
Yeah.
So we are going to win those two ridings, that's for sure. And we're lucky because they are two of the best MPs in Parliament, in my opinion. And, Vancouver is well represented by them in the Liberal Party, in the Liberal caucus, and in Parliament as well.
Yeah, well, I hope this election turns out in our favor and we see the end of Stephen Harper. That's really all I care about at this point. I'm just man, if that happens, everything else will be icing on the cake. But
true, it would be. Stephen Harper has kind of ruined Canada. We used to be in the top 3 of best nations to live in.
Yeah.
Now we're in the double digits. We've seen 2 recessions under his government. And he likes to sugarcoat it and say, it's only the oil industry. But if the oil industry is in recession, it's going to affect all the other industries, people, there is no consumer confidence. Harper's been looking out for the 1%. I mean, recently, I think it was today or yesterday, I saw a question from a couple whose combined income was about $1 million, okay? And they asked, why should we vote Liberal? Well, for the greater good of the nation. Yes, under a Liberal government, if we have to raise taxes on individuals, they're going to be raised on the 1%. Right. That's something Justin Trudeau said when he was running for leadership, actually, when there was the Occupy
they're the ones who can
movement
afford
going on.
to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't
Those who
believe
can,
in personal
it's
income tax
funny,
anyway,
when the overprivileged, we'll call them, are asking to become even more privileged. If I'm lucky because, I'm self-employed, plus I have a job, I make a decent income. I don't mind if I get taxed more if it's for the greater good, as long as my tax dollars aren't going to subsidize big oil. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, there's a lot of problems. I don't want to really... Yeah. This one's a big subject.
It is.
But I kind of have my own philosophy on the whole taxation thing. I don't think anybody should ever be forced to do anything, and I really don't think we should organize society on the principle of forcing people with a gun to their head to pay the government money, no matter how much money they make. I just don't believe... I believe we could entice people to give taxes by educating them. It's called volunteerism, and where you actually educate people in society to contribute based on them wanting to contribute rather than them having to. And progressives, the whole idea of progressivism is supposed to be all nice and kind to people, but yet they base their whole entire system on putting a fucking gun to people's head and forcing them to pay taxes.
True.
So I have a problem with that.
I hear what you're saying. The liberals are going to be introducing a fairer tax system. Those who have been paying attention have noticed that we've been really talking about the struggles of the middle class.
Hey, if they legalize marijuana, that's a good first step. We'll get to the taxes later.
True, but the middle class, they've suffered in this country. There's... I make a decent income, but I can't afford to buy a house or a condo even, you know what I mean?
The bank owns everything. The bank owns all things. Even if you buy a house, you just get a loan from the bank, so the bank will own it again.
Yeah,
the money shifts over to a different bank or something.
But who has $200,000 to drop on a down payment, on $1 million property, which isn't really a nice property in Vancouver.
And here in Vancouver, it's impossible.
It's impossible, but it's people are struggling across the whole country. You know what I'm saying?
Big changes coming up. Now, the one thing I did want to mention is that in this next election, if people want to vote, they have to actually make sure they have ID or a couple letters. There's some changes this time around, right?
Well, they should go to elections.ca and elections.ca, all the information is there on what you need to prove that you are a voter. Harper called it the Fair Elections Act. It's an unfair elections act. And it's also part of Liberal policy, all right, to change that Elections Act. Elections Canada cannot even promote that there's an election right now.
I know.
Okay?
It's insane.
It's insane. All right.
Makes no sense.
They can't promote the get out the vote. All right. They can their advertising is limited now, and this is how Harper wants it to be. He's counting on the cynicism. I don't want to call it apathy because Canadians are not apathetic. They're cynical. They're cynical of the way this country is being run. They're cynical of the way politics is being done in this country. And luckily, I have a leader, my leader, the Liberal leader, Justin Trudeau, understands that cynicism. He's from my generation. He's born in the 70s like I am.
He smokes weed, rides a snowboard.
Yeah. But I'm
sure Harper does those things.
We
secretly.
want Canadians to be able to engage in politics, regardless of what party they support. That engagement is important. We're tired of seeing only 60% of the country get out to vote. It's not that the other 40% don't care. Yeah. They don't want to vote. They feel like there's nobody to vote for. And over the years, I've been involved for 10 years. I've heard the same thing. In Vancouver East, where I'm involved in, only 50% of the riding votes.
Yeah.
You know, the other
So-
50%
That's
are just
your job out there. You have to go vote this time around. If we don't, we can't complain when Stephen Harper truly takes the rest of what's left here.
and vote for your
away
Liberal
from us.
candidate. Vote for your Liberal candidate. Trust us with your vote this time. We are going to make the necessary changes that Canadians will be happy with. And if we don't, you can elect somebody else in the next election.
Horsewhip.
You know what I mean?
I say we horsewhip them. Yeah, if they don't.
You know, and that's the truth.
Well,
All right,
Mark, I
we
appreciate
will
you
do
coming
it.
on, man. I appreciate you coming down. It's been a while.
It's
since
my
I saw
pleasure.
You, so it's good to see you again.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, cool, man.
Thank you so
we'll definitely
much.
Touch base with you soon.
And if you need more information on Liberal Party platforms, we have more than the legalization policy. We have lots of policies. Just go to liberal.ca. If you feel like donating, you know, you can donate as little as $4.20.
Yeah. Vote October
All right.
19th. That's the date.
But the most important thing, get out, vote. Make sure that you have all the necessary documents to make sure you can get out and vote. Vote Liberal. You know, let's get especially all of you who have cannabis convictions.
Yeah.
You know what? We're giving you an
Do they let them
opportunity.
vote?
Yeah,
At least here in-
everybody.
at least here in Canada, you can vote. In the States.
You know what? If you're imprisoned, you can vote.
Yeah.
Okay, you have the right to vote. As long as you're a Canadian citizen and you're over 18, you have the right to vote.
Yeah.
Okay? No one can take that right away from you, even though Harper is trying
Unless
to.
you live in the States for too long.
No, even if you live overseas.
No, remember what Donald Sutherland just came out and wrote an article saying that they've taken away his right to vote and all that, right?
Yeah, but it's bullshit. He still has the right to vote.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I thought that was just a big controversy.
It's
right now.
it's controversial. They're trying to prevent people like him from voting,
Right.
but they still have the right to vote. Go to
Okay.
if you're overseas, go to the Canadian embassy, find out how you can vote, or your consulate, find out how you can vote, because every vote is going to count in this election. So make sure you get out and vote. And again, those of you who have cannabis convictions, now you have a reason to vote. Get out and vote. Okay? Vote Liberal, because we're the ones that are going to overturn those convictions. We promised it. Our leader promised it. The party promised it. It's part of our policy. Make sure you get out and vote.
Definitely. Awesome. Mark Elyas, president of the Vancouver East Riding Association.
The Liberals in
of
Vancouver.
The Liberal
East.
Party.
Yes.
Yes. No, I don't think anybody can mistaken you for anything else.
No, eh?
Today, no.
Not
and
today.
You got the Liberal red going on today on the shirt.
Sort of. Yeah, it's kind of a burgundy. I wore.
Looks good with the button, the Justin button.
Not,
You don't have
not,
one, but
not
it
on
will.
one.
It does.
It will. Yeah.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
All right,
well,
brother
thank
man,
you
love
so
ya.
much. Love you too,
Good
bro.
Good for.
And for
tuning
those of you who
again.
don't know,
I'm really
my membership chair on the board is Jeremiah Vandermeer right
That's
over
true.
here. He's,
I am also one of the members of the Liberal Riding Association here, an elected member.
Yeah.
I'm an elected Liberal.
Yeah,
Not
he's
quite,
our
but-
membership chair, and we have a full board, and I'm blessed to have, you know, an awesome group of people who are on my board. I mean, you guys make me look great. You know, I just chair
That's
the thing. You know what I mean?
I hold the light, and it gets your good side. So.
Exactly.
Cool, man.
Alrighty.
Well, thanks for coming on, brother. We appreciate it. And
Thank
we'll
you.
have you back again soon.
For sure.
Go check out liberal.ca and see what Justin's got to say. Watch some of those videos.
Yeah. Alrighty.
And
Have a
Kiwi Man's on the couch now.
I've got to go.
All right. Oh, Sarah's here. Oh, Sarah, grab a mic over there. I even have a cam. You can, or you can slide over. Either way, that's cool. Oh, bye, Stoner Advisory. Megan's out of here. Got some pics, did you? Woo-woo. Awesome, thank you. Okay, we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey. So, I wanted to give you a box of rolling papers.
Oh.
They're from an unknown, I'm not allowed to name, a source I'm not allowed to name due to regulations.
Regulations.
Regulations,
okay.
but there you go. Box of
Well, that's
smoking.
nice.
Retail box.
Smoking. I can
Yeah,
show
there
them
you go.
off.
Enjoy.
These are fancy ones. The guy with the top hat on them.
Yes, enjoy the top hat guy. Yeah.
Right, I
Yes.
do.
Friends, good people. Oh yeah, and the last thing I wanted to say is that if you want to enter the cup, there's all sorts of categories: indica, hybrid, sativa,
Yeah.
solventless, butter, shatter, live resin, possibly rosin, whatever. We'll see what we get. I will limit or expand according to numbers. The deadline to have it in my hands is September 25th. So if you can get the online entry form done as soon as possible, at the latest September 20th,
Right.
then I will get back to you and
got
tell
a
you how to
month.
get it to me.
Yeah.
Right, basically. So get on it. Get the thinking caps on. Redbeard has a wicked awesome cup that we're giving the first, second, and third persons, and fourth and fifth get a pendant.
He made the former cups as well, right? The
Yes,
last
he
ones?
did. Yes,
There's
he
one
did.
on the front page of Pot TV right now with floating above the CCN
I love
logo.
it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, he makes some really good stuff.
Yes.
Redbeard's
so
amazing.
That's my main push right now is let's get some awesome entries. Everybody who can grow, extract, make edibles, whatever. Maybe even topicals. We'll see what we can rustle up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was thinking I should have done that too.
Cool.
So, and there are a few people. So we'll see what
Expansion.
happens. You know, like
There's just no end to
it
this
just-
stuff.
I just say Redbeard, more cups, sir.
There you
know?
go. Exactly.
So let's enrich the community and raise up all our standards.
Man, I'm looking forward to this, Sarah. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, as am I.
I'm excited.
Thank you so much.
So October, we'll see you then. And are you in
October
town for a little while?
16th.
You got,
Yeah,
you're hanging out
I'm
and
here
having
till
some fun?
Monday night. So
Oh,
if you
good.
desire to get at me, get at me.
Get at me.
Yeah, I can definitely be PM'd on Facebook and found. If you've got my phone number, call me, text me, and
Hit her up.
We'll have a session and discuss sponsorship or entry or any of the many things that we can make a love connection.
Right. Awesome. That's
Basically.
fantastic.
So all the details on the entry amounts, the deadlines, different categories, all that stuff's on the website, thekarmacup.com.
TheKarmaCup.com.
Yes,
Check it
yes,
out
on
online.
it. There's all sorts of content on the Instagram and the Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a Twitter as well, or is it just Instagram?
There's no Twitter.
No
There's
Twitter.
no Twitter. That's just
I was
beyond the
wrong.
pale.
I thought you had a Twitter.
Maybe in the
Instagram.
future. You never know. We'll see how it goes.
Got to
Okay.
get them all.
Wicked.
Got to catch them all.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello.
Awesome, Sarah Sunday. Thank you so much for coming on a second time.
Thanks,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes, and I will enjoy
Please
my
visit.
papers.
I'll
It's
go
so
to the
nice
website.
of this
Missed it.
unknown person, this
Ooh, the top hat.
unspoken, unsaid
I've got more for
top
you.
hat
I'll probably
guy.
drop more off. There'll probably be more because I am not taking these friggin' papers back with me to Ontario.
Oh,
so,
I
And
see.
I got to put them in hands of smokers who know. That's the whole thing. And I know you guys.
I like
know.
smoking.
You
It's a good
guys
brand.
are definitely
I do a lot of
know.
that, smoking.
Yes. Yes. So fabulous. Thank you. Again.
Sarah Sunday, thank you. Check out the Karma Cup, thekarmacup.com.
Yes,
Get your tickets.
thekarmacup.com.
Get vetted as a judge.
Yes.
If you're one of the elite few, be initiated into the cult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Become one of us.
That's right.
Are you elite?
Join
That is
us.
the question. Are you
Yeah.
elite?
Are you elite?
Yes.
Yes, I like it.
Wicked awesome. Thank you.
Awesome, Sarah. Thanks. Excellent. Sarah Sunday. And now Kiwi at long last here. Been trying to get him on for a while. Keeps getting intercepted.
Oh, it's all good. I'm all good with that.
How you doing, homeboy?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you again.
Awesome.
We haven't had you on since the publication of your last amazing heady hunting piece.
About pendants.
The
and so forth.
pendies.
Yeah.
Tell people a little about what you came up with this amazing fucking piece, man.
Well, glass is obviously available in lots of forms. There's rigs and there's other things, but a lot of people just use glass in their non-functional form. And a lot of times that non-functional form comes in pendants. So I figured I'd do a little spotlight on that and show people the different style of pendants out there, the different types of artists. There's artists from all over the world that are doing different types of pendants. So I figured I'd just do a little showcase on that.
And you know, it's funny because when you first get into the glassblowing community, you start seeing these pendants that everybody has, and there's a lot of like love for this whole pendant thing
Yes.
in the pot community because the glassblowers are working on that shit. And they're just, some of these things are just so beautiful.
And as Johnny B said, they do have multi-functions as well. Some pendants act as carb caps.
Right.
Others have different functions as well. So yeah, they go beyond just looking cool. And also it supports the artist. A lot of people hunt specific artists for their pendant skills and their pendant artistry. And so that's kind of what I wanted to highlight too, the artists that are really sought after throughout the world.
One of the ones that you published, the Haterade cap was,
Yes.
was a carb cap pendant.
That was a collab between Chris Luda, who's actually from BC, from British Columbia, and
American glass artist called Evil, EVOL glass. So it was a Luda Evil collaboration. But that pendant, which not only looks pretty cool, also happens to act as a carb cap, so you can place it over the flat part of a quartz or other heated device that you've just put your dab onto, and use it to basically circulate the convection and cap off the boiling point for certain terpenes and certain other cannabinoid profiles. So that way you're not actually vaporizing everything, and you kind of like I mentioned, you have like a convection oven where you're just settling those terps at that temperature, and you can really get a really tasty toke. So
Yeah,
it's a cool little tip.
Yeah, that's kind of something with this whole dab thing that's been going on, that you got to, when you cap them, you just really, you're burning off more of what's there and getting
well, a lot of
the
people
full
often
round.
have watched after you apply your dab to the nail or quartz nail or whatever, you get kind of like a plume of smoke that's coming off after you're done dabbing. And that's still all viable material if you know how to cap it properly, and if you haven't heated up your nail too hot. So often there's a lot of people do really hit the nail a little too early, and it's just a good tip out there to let your nail cool down a little bit. You're still going to get a good dab, but it just allows you to not vaporize everything instantaneously, and allow you to enjoy more of those terpene flavors, which do start to boil off at lower temps.
Right, exactly. And that's why, you see people vaporize at different temperatures all over the map if you want a different effect, different terpenes, and, start low.
Totally.
Yeah, get a little higher.
Well, a lot of people are doing this super low temp. Normally most e-nails are at around the between 600 to 720 degree ratio, but a lot of people are experimenting with the 400 degree threshold. That's really, really low temp, but it does expand the flavor profiles quite immensely. And for things like rosin, which Johnny B and other people out there are really rocking, which do really pertain and retain a lot of terp profiles, it's perfect. That temperature is really good. It's maybe not as good for other things, but it definitely works well for rosin and stuff like that.
Yeah, the rosin thing. So are you on that whole bandwagon too?
I like it a lot. I still am on the BHO tip just because that's kind of my crew, my fams.
That is,
but I do enjoy the fact that rosin has come a long way in such a short time. The exponential difference between, obviously, the safety factor is completely advantageous with rosin, but the exponential knowledge base and the leaps in technology from hair straightener to D-nail produced hydraulic, pneumatic, I think it's hydraulic or pneumatic or both heat press. It's pretty amazing. It took BHO at least, 3 years, 4 years to get on the closed loop tip to sort of standardize things into a much more safe process. But it took rosin less than a year to go from hair straighteners to fully manufactured, really, really well produced machines that are professionally able to produce rosin. Bubbleman rocks one, and he's a pretty professional dude. Mm-hmm. And Johnny B, I think, is probably going to get on that tip too. So there's a lot of good headway being made in the rosin game for sure.
Yeah.
Which is
you're right.
Really
in a short amount of time.
In a very short amount of time. Which, if you graph the analyticals on that, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Which actually shows the hive mind and the amount of knowledge dipping that people can do, and also social media obviously has definitely helped the entire thing. But the combination of everything has led to a pretty powerful little scene, which I think is pretty cool. And I am definitely appreciating it appearing in more concentrate cups and more things like that. Horatio won the last CCO.
Yeah.
That was super awesome because he is a mad scientist and a really, really strong advocate of super safe trichome hunting.
And
trichome
he's got a
production.
different sort of system that he uses as well.
Yes, his system is he's into THCA isolates and other things, and he's really pushing the boundaries of basically what an organic chemist or what a very, very proficient lab based person would be able to do with a cannabis edge, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I actually know the person that introduced Dr. Hornby to the idea of testing cannabinoids. Before that, he was just a gas chromatograph PhD person with chemistry and I think some sort of sociology major and PhD.
Oh, wow.
But through the festival scene, I know the guy that introduced Dr. Hornby to the idea of actually starting to test for buds and stuff.
Oh,
I
wow.
should try and contact him. He's a really, really interesting cat.
Cool, man. Now, I have up on the screen here, we should definitely talk. Kiwi, you have such a wealth of knowledge about all kinds of different areas.
I try.
It's crazy. I'm so pleased that we have you as a resource, not only for the show, but working on stuff for Cannabis Culture. Now, this latest piece that you worked on here, I'm just going to show some of this off here, because this shit is just amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's Jason Burris times Junichi Kojima, a.k.a. Rose Rhodes. So Rose Rhodes is 1/3 of Team Japan, and they won the Treating Yourself Cup several years ago, and they absolutely just kicked it with a really crazy
that
cup,
little sippy cup deal with the
slop cup with
dots,
crazy
man.
amounts of dot stacks. So that's
cool.
Currently 1/3 of Team Japan, which is Junichi Kojima.
Yeah.
Rose Rhodes. His stuff is very, very sought after, extremely sought after in both pendant form and any form. Basically, if you're rocking a Rose Rhodes anything, then you definitely know what's up with glass.
Yeah,
100%. You know where to get it from, because it's not like you can't just find this at any head shop. It's very, very hard.
Like, look at those dots.
No, that's completely 100% all hand done, and not really following any sort of draft. There's no tracing. He kind of just freestyle blots it in dot by dot, which is quite amazing.
Yeah, it's nuts. That one's got the Cubert design on it. It's got the little,
so it's got the 3D
the
blocks. And even that in itself, getting a 3-dimension on a 2D sphere in dots of glass.
It's mind-blowing.
It's really mind-blowing.
Wow, is it ever, man? Wow, it's just crazy. I'm going to keep scrolling down here. There's just so much stuff here.
This is another, that's Kondo. That's Yoshinori Kondo, who's another part of Team Japan.
Crazy looking stuff.
Yeah, he's got a different style of stacking. It's very teardrop orientated, and it's quite signature and unique to him. When anyone sees a Kondo Pendi, they're like, oh wow, that's a Kondo for sure.
Look at the layers there. He's got this outer, the tiers, and then this second layer, and then a third inside.
And the symmetry is pretty impressive to see, considering that's all hand done symmetry. So there's no repetition per se or milli work or anything like that. It's all hand done, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And then this is Daisuke Saito is the actual sort of creator of the slop cup design. He was the first person to be like, hey, this kind of looks like a 7-Up or 7-Eleven cup with a straw in it, and it's a really solid design. I've actually I haven't hit Maybe I have hit a slop cup. I can't remember if I have. I'm pretty sure I have actually. But it's so smooth and percolating. It's incredible design. So it's pretty cool.
It's cool stuff. There's
a couple of combos with Coil Condenser, who's well known for his monkey work and sculptures and stuff.
Love that.
And this is another one of my favorite artists, Mike Gong, because the Gongster is pretty rad. He's well known for his acid eater style of marble. So basically it's like a pendant with eyes, a tongue, and a little square tab of opal, which is meant to represent a hit of LSD. So it's a pretty cool throwback to Grateful Dead style of old school sort of Snodgrass style of glasswork and stuff. Yeah, and that's the three-eyed sheet eater, which is a larger version. And those opals, they're I believe Gilson or glisten, I can't remember how they're pronounced, but they're artificial or synthetic opals, which are placed inside the glass. If you try to put real opals inside a glass, they'll fracture. They don't have the same sort of coefficiency. So yeah.
Those are cool. Here, I'm going to go back down a little further. I just scrolled back up to the top for that one.
No, yeah, this is pretty cool to see all this stuff up online, actually.
Yeah, this is the same. This is Mike Gong again.
Yeah,
for sure. We'll talk soon. Yeah, that's crazy. There's one of the acid eater ones too.
Yep. And that's actually a combo with Kondo. So the Kondo's got the dot stacks on the outside, and then Mike Gong came on the inside and dropped a little acid eater face, which is pretty cool.
Oh, there's that one again there.
And then Salt. This is definitely one of my favorite sculptural people. He's influenced a lot of glass artists
the teeth.
throughout the
Love it.
throughout the glass world, and that's a cool little.
Got the Mario going on. Oh, whoops, there.
It's a combo with Paul Stefan, aka Micro. He's well known for his Mario imagery and scenes. He does really, really awesome little like throwbacks to like perfect little screenshots of the underground layer of Mario or the flower level of Mario. Yeah, just different things like that. This is Mike Shelbo. He's well known for his goblins, which are actually like really sought after, like quite well sought after.
Very cool. I love that face. Those eyes are nuts. Yeah, I've seen these around.
Yeah, they're pretty recognizable. And again, what glassblowers go for is a signature style, so that their artistry, much like a painter or a sculptor or any other like legitimate artist, which all glass artists are, they're trying to be recognized. And so a lot of their recognizable styles are born from their pendants, and then get transferred into their tubes and into their rigs and into their larger work. So that's vice versa. If they're known for their tube work, then they'll try to miniaturize that into a pendant, and those will swing just as well.
Right, exactly. It's branding. It's good, you know.
It's 100%. Glass artists who fully understand the culture of marketing and advertising, and social media, especially Instagram, is a huge part of a lot of glass artists' repertoire, which is why I included all the Instagram addresses for all of the artists as well on the article. It's a cool combo with Dosa, who was part of the Mothership crew at one point. I think he still does a little bit of work for them, but sort of branched off on his own, and is one of the pioneers of crushed opals, which is basically using the synthetic opals that I said, crushing them, rolling them in a hot tube of colored glass, and then that becomes your sort of colored sparkly color, which is pretty cool as well.
Cool, man. Yeah, that looks dope there. Look at that.
D-Rec, who does a lot of sandblasting, which is another technique, which I probably will get into on a separate article. And actually, Carly was mentioning to me about a future possible article showcasing and focusing on female glass artists and glass art that would be very applicable and likable for ladies and girls out there.
That's a very good
Stoner
idea.
glass for stoner girls. So
I love it.
Yes, that's another future upcoming article for the Glassmaster section.
Man, there's no shortage of amazing glass out there, so it's just so many cool ideas.
That's a Brandon Martin Ghost collaboration. I don't know if this is actually the Brandon Martin section or the Ghost section, but this is Brandon Martin. He does a lot of rhinoceros and other sort of sculptures. He's a big contributor to the Rhino Fund, so there's an actual international organization that sets up donations and money to go towards protecting endangered rhinoceroses. And
that's so cool.
So this glass artist, when he sells his rhinoceros-based glass art, contributes a lot of money to that fund.
Look at those skulls too. It's so cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Wow, that's really great. I'm glad to see people actually,
Yeah, no, there's a lot of conscious. There's actually a lot of glass artists also do charity work to help sick children with cancer and other such like sick children functions and AIDS and so forth. So it's pretty cool to see that glassblowers do have a lot of ability to help beyond just making glass, which is kind of cool. It shows that the culture has progressed to not only a sustainable level, but to a point where it's community active now. So it's
for sure.
It just goes to show that that's how far the glass culture and scene has come.
Yeah. Well, and you find that's that community building stuff, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ghost, this is cool stuff.
It's MF Doom. MF Doom,
so
Gloomy
dope.
Bear. So it's like MF Gloom, which I thought was pretty cool.
I love that. It's amazing.
Well, that's the other thing that glass artists can do is they can tap into specific pop cultural things, and it just speaks to people just instantly. They're like, oh, wow, I need that in my life immediately.
Did you say pot culture?
Yes, pot culture.
As in drugs?
Yes.
As in good stuff.
I want some of that. Oh, man.
Give me some of those drugs.
Yes, definitely.
That is fucking awesome.
Yeah, AKM is pretty cool. He makes some awesome skulls. Very, again, highly sought after.
Yeah, the skulls are nuts. That's cool. Yeah, we'll keep on rolling down.
Yep.
Very
Calvin
colorful.
Mickle is also known as Calm.
Those are cool.
Really big into bird skulls, and I'm sure he spends a lot of time at the museum and just like searching through archaeological books and so forth. He seems to be into skulls and so forth, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, those are dope. Keep on going. Oh yeah, there's some more of the birds.
Highly intricate, like really, really. When you think about the amount of, and you've been to the glass gathering and so forth, so you've seen glass being made. It really blows your mind how much detail they can get into either such a small or large piece, but also just the amount of detail that you can get in glasses. It's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, it really is. I know, and especially after seeing the Japanese guys with the intricate little details. Like, jeez. You really, but what I wonder is, like, what if you like fuck up after all that? It doesn't just become a mess. Like, these guys are 100%. So on point.
That's a huge part of the glass blowing process, is to learn to deal with kiln fractures and stuff going wrong, and you're just about to move something off, and your punty breaks, and everything shatters, or just something doesn't connect. It's part of the process, I guess.
Yeah.
So it trains glass blowers to be pretty patient, I guess.
We saw some cool stuff.
And just to touch on these glass blowers, again, Japan has an entire culture of glass blowers which are coming out straight from Japan. And I don't know if they're being taught by Americans, but they definitely have a very unique flavor. And it's kind of cool to see. But Japan itself has a history of glass blowing. So it's probably somewhat related to that, and then obviously modernized for the new era and so forth. This is that Luda Evil carb cap we were talking about.
Yeah.
And it really looks like, from a distance, it looks quite like a photorealistic Gatorade bottle.
It totally does.
Which is pretty well done.
No, it looks great. It looks like there's actually fluid inside of it even.
Yeah, it's extremely well done.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you were saying about the Japanese history of glass blowing. I always remember my grandparents had those Japanese glass balls that they would, float over on the ocean. They used to use in the harbor. Like,
yeah, there's a soft glass technique, and I mentioned it in one of my Facebook posts, and I can probably post about it again at some point, or just re-mention it at some point. But yeah, there's a soft glass technique. It starts with an S, and it's been around for quite a while. So it's there's definitely a history of glass in Japan for sure.
Yeah.
And probably the last thing I'd like to mention before we take off or whatever is that I came across a university course offered at Kwantlen Polytechnic called Introduction to Professional Management of Marijuana for Medical Purposes in Canada. It's a $1,200 online course offered by Kwantlen Polytechnic, which actually leads some credence to its, legitimacy. So what this actual course represents is the ability to learn about how to identify plants, cloning, basic green thumb techniques that most green thumbs that I know, including myself, know about.
Yeah.
As well as how to, and there's an entire write-up, and I can link the thing on CC as well. It basically teaches you how to consult for dispensaries and to tell the dispensary if their crop's good or what's what and blah, blah, blah. And because it's accredited and you have some sort of accreditation, it kind of gives the person that has the consulting a little bit more legitimacy, which I thought would be perfect for someone like me.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that Kwantlen is getting on board with pot stuff too.
The course itself is almost full, and it runs from September to October. So September, it's online again, so most of it would be fed through, but I think it would be really trippy for me to take it and to report on it.
Yeah.
Like, actually just do like full on like
Wait, you didn't enroll in it though, did you?
I'm gonna enroll next week.
You're going to?
Yeah,
I've
been flipping coins and like
you
like
should.
just divining tea leaves and be like, should I not? Why shouldn't I? There's too many advantages to do it.
Sorry, did you say how much it was?
$1,200.
$1,200,
which is
right.
no problem.
Okay, so
I've got no problem for an educational outlay of that, and to get something really solid back.
It's a fairly decent price. It's this whole concept of the Oaksterdam University. I always loved that so much. Ted Smith had his Hempology 101 things, but there's not a lot of organized educational pot stuff going on up here, so that's really good to hear.
It's just, well, when I first came to Canada in '96, the only real alternative sort of thing that you could even take at any sort of polytechnic or technical university would be like sort of like maybe getting into the comic book industry from drawing, but you'd have to take a whole bunch of written courses and academic courses to get into that.
Right.
Now there are actual like video game and comic book courses, but now the fact that there's a polytechnic offering this level of course that's kind of why I want to do it. This is something
it's
to get
next
on
level
the
shit.
It hasn't been offered in BC before. BC is probably one of the most viable places for it to be offered at. So why not?
And I mean, it's not like Kwantlen's a real university. It's like the shit. They have campuses all over the place. This is one of the biggest universities in Vancouver.
Exactly. So it's definitely not like weedknowledge.com or whatever,
right,
or something. It has some backing, and it's being offered by a reputable college that would not offer a course if it didn't think that it would suit the school's image or whatever, etc. Yeah. So that's the main reason that I want to take it, just because of the climate that we live in. I like pushing the envelope like that, so might as well.
That is very cool, man. Well, I hope that you do that. I've taken online courses before, some of them good, some of them not so good, so you can tell us how that is, too.
Of course. I've done the same and had the same sort of experiences, both positive and negative. So I just thought it was interesting, and as the sort of person that I am, I could definitely sit at home and dab, and then do all the exams or whatever, and still run my daily affairs in life. So
I want to send people to go look at your stuff that you do. Kiwi, your Facebook page is just this massive archive of amazing shit.
It is.
And I don't know where you find all this stuff, and I don't want you to give away your secrets, but it
finds me. Quite honestly, a lot of the stuff people send me, they're like, dude, you got to check this out. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out, and then I post it. Or I have a pretty prolific.
Have you seen the Medtainer, John says?
Yes, I have. Yeah. I love the Medtainers, actually. I have my Kush Cup Medtainer. We've got a few Medtainers at home. But that's basically what happens is a lot of it finds me, and I have a pretty good nose for hunting down things. And an eye for things that other people may not have seen before.
Totally.
So
Can you send people? Is it a public page? Is everybody allowed?
It's currently friends only, just because of the amount of stuff that's on there. A lot of it is not necessarily copyrighted, but it is watermarked. So I'd like to keep a lot of that because I often credit with full credits to the entire artist, to the makeup person or whatever, or whoever's involved with the thing that I'm posting. Just as a nice polite gesture,
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do eventually, probably within the end of the month, is move all of that to a public Instagram page, which is a lot more accessible, and then eventually just go to a YouTube channel, which would be a live way of highlighting some of the cool things that you can find on the page and so forth.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's a great idea. I was going to say, because everybody should be able to have a piece of this, it's just so cool to see all that stuff all the time. Whenever I'm like, oh, I need something cool to look at, I'm going to your Facebook page.
I have kept it kind of exclusive just for now, because I realize that as soon as I do release it, it's going to go buck wild. So, I definitely, it's building up to that level, so I definitely would like to share it and get it out to as many people as possible. That's kind of the whole reason
I think you're sitting on the mic, Johnny.
Oh, me or nope?
They're hearing noises back there. What? They're hearing weird sounds coming out of you over there.
But yeah, no, that's my basic plan, is to eventually spread that good vibes to the rest of the entire Matrix.
Cool, man. Well, it's awesome to have you on the show, and awesome to have you doing stuff for Cannabis Culture.
Thanks for inviting me down to just chill out with you guys and jump on the team. I'm very, very excited and very honored to be a part of the entire process. I've been around for a while.
Forever.
for a couple of minutes.
Kiwi not only does stuff for us, but does stuff at our rallies and has for years, doing music and stuff at our protests. And
yes.
Yeah, 420s, Cannabis
and so
Days.
Forth and things. Yes,
yeah,
I've been
exactly.
around.
All around this place. And
I get around and do stuff.
School.
It's cool.
Fuck yeah,
it's
cool,
very
Kiwi,
cool.
Man. That's awesome. And definitely keep watching for Glass Masters 2.0 on Cannabis Culture. Kiwi's
more updates for sure. It'll be crazy cool.
Lots of the heady shit all over the place. But yeah, it's a cool trip, man, to see all that stuff. I'm hoping that I've mentioned this before on the show today. We're launching a Cannabis Culture store next week, a new big marijuana mega store, essentially. It's basically like anything you can find to do with pot, we're going to have in this damn store.
Excellent.
Except for the pot itself. And we want to include, where is it? Well, it's our Cannabis Culture store, so cannabisculture.com/store.
In the virtual universe.
It's going to be out online, of course. This is online. And yeah, we have a store in person. We have several locations of it now, but our online store has been suffering. It hasn't been brought up to speed. It doesn't have all the stock in it. It's been having problems for a long time. So our new store looks amazing. It's got more stuff than ever in it, and we want to approach glassblowers and people who make cool stuff like T-shirts and everything out there. And any cool pot shit we want in the store. So if you guys know of cool stuff out there, If you got cool designers, t-shirt makers, whatever, any kind of cool pot products, and you want to slang that shit, we have 2 million people ready to look at this stuff, and we're going to be blasting all this out through our Facebook pages and other things. So get on board. We want to sell your stuff. Let me know about it. You can send me stuff, jeremiah@cannabisculture.com. We want to pack. We want to be the. I hate saying it. I want a massive pot. The word superstore is wrong, but I want a big, huge pot store online.
A one-stop stop.
Yeah, get some hemp shampoo and hemp conditioner.
All that shit. And clothing, yes. Clothing. Carly's waving at me over there. She's been working on getting a bunch of cool stuff on the clothes side of things, too. So, and she'll be... Mick wants a pot superstar. I'm going to have to get Mick up here, too, again, to talk to us about the Canada... Did you know about this thing tonight over on Commercial Drive?
Yeah. You can jump in. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, Kiwi, man.
Commercial Drive stuff.
Kiwi the Heady Hunter.
That's where I was heading, and hey.
Kiwi brother.
So this whole Commercial Drive thing, tonight in Vancouver, on Commercial Drive, there's a Fuck the Police rally, Fuck the Permits rally. I think they got rid of the name Fuck the Permit, Fuck the Police, but they call it now the Commercial Drive Friendly Party.
No, but we have the Fuck Harper new white T-shirt tonight with black writing. I don't know if anyone actually realized that this is a new one. I just had this one made today. So,
I really want one of those shirts.
It was a
Fuck
the Police rally. That was on Facebook, but that link or that page was taken down. So, but I went to BuzzFeed, Vancouver.
Right.
And there in the What's Going On section, I found, Commercial Drive Street Party 2.
It's still happening.
And then that's all they're calling it. But if you read further into the story, they said that it is being organized also as a protest to the unreasonable and unjust bylaws and for extra police that they mentioned. I think they mentioned even in the article how what you talked about prior on other shows, how we've already paid for that. Mm-hmm. Like our taxes cover these things.
Yeah, that's why we have taxes in the first place.
And the Commercial Drive, the people that live on the drive, that's a community that it has a history of throwing sort of community-oriented street-style parties and community events in the summertime, and they utilize the community space, the small green space that exists in that little community. So I mean, there's been
hippie community.
There's Italian days. They close the street for soccer events, the World Cup, all kinds of these cultural events that happen in that area. And so I believe it's still going on, and I'm headed over there shortly after the show. And probably going to have to find parking somewhere. I've got all my camera gear with me. I'm going to be walking around again as the film crew.
Somebody was saying in the chat that there's going to be a bunch of people meeting up at Grandview Park, and the cops have said that they'll be busting people or they're telling them to go elsewhere. So it sounds like the cops are trying to be more aggressive about this. I wonder if we're going to have more fireworks from the Vancouver Police Department.
I'd like to point something out now. Earlier today,
down there. I was on my way.
Earlier today, as I was driving and looking for a parking space, I was on the street off of Hastings, right behind the Vancouver Seed Bank. Down on Hastings, the first location.
Yep.
And coming down, I think it's Campbell Street, was the largest freaking armored SWAT heavy-duty four-wheel drive, most ugly cop vehicle I ever saw. Apparently there was a soapbox derby over that area earlier today, and they were over there for that, and they brought that over. That's the thing you want to bring to a kid's soapbox derby.
Unbelievable.
Like a militarized police vehicle. Like,
what is with these guys? What do they need that thing for? What are they going to drive into with that?
As they drove by,
the Incredible Hulk goes on the loose or something?
I did not restrain myself at all. I had my windows down. I leaned out the window, arm fully extended. Fuck you. As they drove, fuck yeah. As they're driving. You shouldn't be driving on that little side street in a vehicle that size, you fuckers. Holy shit. I'm
doesn't
pissed.
make sense. I don't still know. Like, what is it, just to show off? That's why they have these things? Or is there an actual purpose for that?
No, there is a purpose. Part of that purpose, though, is they want people to get used to it. That's what it's all about. They bring in a piece of an equipment like that. It's to get people used to it. And this is why they bring it to a children's event.
Yeah.
What is But yeah, I don't know if you noticed that when the RCMP musical ride, people were shocked when they staged the police takedown earlier this year, and I forget where that was. If it was Calgary Stampede or somewhere like that, or Winnipeg maybe, Royal Winter Fair, maybe, I don't know. But there was and there was a mixed emotions in the crowd. But a lot of people were kind of shocked and dismayed that, the musical ride turned into a show of force and flash bomb grenades going off and tactical cops piling out of the back of armored vehicles. No, that's not.
Oh
Canadian.
my God!
That's
you just gave me the best idea
that's
for
Stephen
a
Harper's
theme park in
Canada.
the United States. We should call it USA Land, and it could be all like military rides, like
Oh, you get a ride in a paddy wagon in cuffs.
Yeah.
You get a beating.
Yeah, USA.
Yeah, you get a
beat
beating
by the police officers.
You get beating by a real cop. You get a beating by a
That's
real
one of the
cop.
rides. It's called the Rodney King ride. Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's not a bad idea.
It's trouble, you and me together.
So
Anyways, that's
tonight,
what's going on.
So you're going to go try and get arrested then?
No, I'm going over there to film the police. And I am part of the media.
Yes.
So that's what's
I'm
going
going for
on
soup.
right
It's too bad I
there.
don't have that goddamn press pass.
I'm gonna go
No,
get
you don't
some,
want to tell them you're part of Cannabis Culture. They'll immediately throw you in the
They'll
paddy
get
wagon.
beaten for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Oops, sorry to be
Yeah,
yelled at.
Sadhu Johnson will beat you himself.
No, I'm going to tell them. They're probably going to hassle me for wearing this shirt, and I'm going to go, fuck off.
Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah.
Have you caught a lot of heat for those shirts?
Actually,
see you soon.
Walking down the street
Thanks,
yesterday,
man.
I was walking around town with my other shirt on yesterday, and same today, walking around this one. If I had $1 for every nice shirt as people are walking by, I mean, I'd be rich. I could afford to pay for all the parking.
Yeah, shit. I'm telling you, you should sell those shirts.
I might. Well, you're talking
should
about
put 'em
that.
in the
Other
store.
people. I just might bring some quick, limited amounts out. Throw them into a few places. I had some free business advice given to me over there in the corner.
We'll sell those
By
shirts on the store.
Weed. I was actually in consultation with Weed Woman. She's bugging me, thinking I should do it. So
do it, man.
I might just go and get a run.
I want
and
him in
we'll
our
see,
store.
I got to go look out. So I'm going to get some prices and see if I can swing an order, and we'll see what happens.
They'll be a popular item.
Well, it's a time limited thing because the election's coming.
Exactly. He's
I
going to
don't
be gone.
Once he's gone, I
Get
don't
your kicks
see.
in now.
And we were discussing this. I do not think that first of all, if he gets a minority government by some fluke, I highly doubt he will get the confidence of the House and therefore be unable to form government.
Mm-hmm.
They will say, no, not with that guy. No
Right.
one will allow him back in to form government.
No, I believe that.
So I really do think that the safe money is no matter what, we're very close to seeing the end of that particular individual.
Well, we
But
hope.
the party, it's not him, it's the party. We still got to work with conservatives. And you got guys like Ernie Cowan. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He cheated on his taxes. You're a lying piece of shit.
Yeah, that guy.
Because that really shows true conservative base. The Rob Fords, the Doug Ford supporters.
What a nutty
Those
guy,
types of
huh?
conservatives make up. That's the core base of the Conservative Party, which is really the Alliance Party of Canada.
Yeah.
There's very few conservatives in that party anymore. So
No, you're right. It's the fascist party of Canada.
it is the fascist party of Canada. And again, this also explains because they got the money for these fancy police vehicles, these armored cars. Where do you think this is all going down from? And where do you think they buy those things? I don't think that's made in Canada. I'm pretty sure that's an American product.
Oh, probably.
So they're buying that from the American
Probably
military.
China.
It could be
No,
made in Mexico.
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Nothing's made in the U.S. or anymore.
Yeah.
No, they're probably buying old, used.
It's made by GM in
Buy
Mexico.
local.
Yeah, GM in Mexico with parts from.
What if you
China.
try to buy? Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
they still make things in Canada when it comes to vehicles.
I want to make one on a 3D printer.
I'm
Can you imagine
starving.
pulling up one of those things with one beside the cops and an identical one painted up with like flames and like weed leaves and fuck the police
That
written
would be
on it?
awesome. The Growmobile.
Actually, if anybody's got an old ex-copper car, like an old taxi-style ex-copper, I think a really cool thing would be to paint it white and get a badge and paint like a big sheriff-style badge on the side and just have "fuck the police" badge. I just drive around on the tailgate where they usually have police written across the
like
back of
that.
the car, right? Polite.
That would be
Just
very,
weird
very
shit. I don't
cool.
know.
I think you might get in trouble for that.
No, you won't.
No? You could put "fuck the police" on your car and they wouldn't give a
If it
fuck?
was in the badge, like a logo, first of all, they'd have to notice it. And then if they had to go and notice it, I'd say, well, you're allowed freedom of expression. Yes.
But there's some. Are we getting some feedback here?
I don't know.
There's this whole thing about impersonating police officers.
No, you're not impersonating the police. You're saying fuck the police.
Well, if it looks like a police car.
No. People do it all the time. There's actually that Sin City, I believe, or whatever, has a cop car that was parked out in front. Like, yeah, it's all done up, and it even has some of the cop shit still on. You can buy the cars if you're not pulling anyone over and you don't have emergency lights on it, you're safe. And it doesn't say police. It, like, as in you're intending. No, it says fuck the police. Clearly, as long as they says that, I think you're in the clear. I mean, if a cop wants to try to make a case because you had fuck the police on your car, I'd say let's go to court. I'm sure a lot of lawyers, not only lawyers, the media would find that hysterical.
Oh, Carly Marley over here found an article just about this subject exactly.
Yeah. Well, you can go ahead.
Is that? Hold on, let me get your mic.
That's what I was going to talk about was the article.
Go for it. Tell us.
I just found Janelle Monáe. I don't know if anyone's familiar with her. She's an R&B singer, kind of psychedelic R&B. And she just released a song. And the premise is essentially...
That's not the article I was talking about.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I was talking about the article about the fuck Harper thing in the back
window.
of the
car.
Yeah, no, that's
we'll
not
be
what I'm
talking about that
This
on
is
my show
relating
on
to the
Monday.
police thing.
Yeah.
This is relating to the police thing. I just found this article.
Oh.
She just released a song, and it's called Hell You Townboat, which is kind of like a loose adaptation of like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
And it's repeated in a really like angry, annoyed tone. And then it says the name of someone who's been killed by the police in the United States again and again, and it's a 6.5 minute long song.
Whoa.
That's like it like gave me chills. I'm like, whoa, it's really, really powerful.
weird
It's really
thing.
worth checking out. Yeah, it's called Hell You Talking About, and it's by Janelle Monáe, and it's a protest song. Here
There
the
you go.
top of the article, it's the psychedelic R&B singer confronts police brutality with a blistering percussive tirade. So yeah.
I think a lot of people are standing up now. This is really a
Exactly.
pertinent issue at the moment.
Speaking of people killed by police in the United States, I saw a map, and if you go to Google Images and punch in under Google Images, people killed people killed in the United States by police 2015, and you get this map of America with all these red dots, and there's whole sections of state that are actually just. And we're talking a relief map that's small, so the dots are tiny.
Yeah.
And then you've got whole states that are like almost completely covered in red.
Holy shit.
Well, the numbers are staggering.
Well, how many fucking
I forget
people they
the
killed down
thousands
there?
and thousands. The numbers are in the thousands. I mean, the year's not even over. There's 2 or 3 a day. It's
Brutal.
crazy.
No.
It's absolutely,
Well,
out of control.
I can
and
say
it's
that
coming
at least
here
it's not
because
that bad in
that's what goes
Canada,
on.
but-
Well, that's what that fucking vehicle was earlier. It is that bad in Canada, and it's here, and it's coming, and it's now.
Here's something
and
I
that's
saw that was
another reason
strange.
we got to vote in a government that has like, I like Trudeau's approach, where he's marching with supporters in the Pride Parade, and Harper has armed thugs.
Yeah, exactly.
That literally is spelling out what we're talking about right there. That's the difference. What do you want for
Did you
Canada?
see this article about there was a bunch of Vancouver cops. I think 6 of them were injured, and they shot some guy. But in the article, it said, or maybe they didn't shoot him, but they killed the guy.
The guy was killed.
He was killed, yeah. And they said that they used some kind of a chemical agent on him. They didn't say what it was, but they said they used a new chemical agent on him, and then he died. And they didn't say anything more than that in the paper. So I was like, oh, what the hell is this? But I wondered if you saw that.
Well, that's just it, and one of the things that's sadly lacking in this community, or not, I'm sorry, let me rephrase, sadly lacking in
I gotta go, guys.
in
You
Canada.
gotta go, Johnny B? Johnny B's out of here.
Right on, brother.
Thanks for the dabs today, brother.
Safe travel, my friend. Safe travels.
And Johnny B's got a new video that he just sent me. I'm gonna post that up like tonight or tomorrow at the latest with tell us quickly what that video is.
Which one?
The latest one you sent me that's like, this one's a good one to post.
Oh, I was just talking about how I was making a solventless
head is
hash
off
oil
now.
extra. Huh?
Your head disappeared there for a second. Yes.
Okay. So, of course, I'm doing lots of videos on how I manage my pain control and my medicine. And I did a video, Frosted Drops versus Phoenix Tears, and it was just had to do with using a solventless hash, putting into a coconut oil and using that for absorption instead of using a petrochemical. It had nothing to do with about curing cancer or fighting in that sense. So I had to really go clear on that. But it's about taking something that was non-solvent with a petrochemical and using it more naturally, and it tastes good. I've actually gave it to a lot of people. It's got the flavor and the terps, and I'm using the smaller micron heads, 45 and 25, and I'm squishing that with a hot iron. And then I'm putting that into coconut oil. Now, the first video I did wasn't really, I was just playing around. But I mean, I've been now heating it at different temperatures, and I'm waiting until I get the machine running till I can properly do it. So the first one was just kind of like, it looked bad. I used a spoon. I was trying to melt it in the microwave. So, people are laughing about it, but I was, maybe I'm getting a point across here. Or, you can do this. So, I'm not trying to, it just happened. But anyways.
Right. But okay,
might be a better video coming soon.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, this is the
where
preview
I can actually,
then.
yeah, this is kind of a preview. Pardon me?
I say if you need some video help, call me. I'll shoot video with you.
Yeah.
Tag team.
I can do camera work. You can, if that's a problem, you need someone with camera work. Yeah.
He can hold the boom mic.
Yeah, I gotta get some lights and stuff like that. People
test
were
out
saying
your
some
products.
stuff. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of testing going on with the new build on the
Just
room
give me a shout,
with all
dude.
the lights.
There's
There's a lot of stuff going on, but
just give me a call.
All right.
We'll definitely.
Well, we got to wrap the show up anyways. It's
There you
already 6:30 here,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Yeah, that's what
Let's
I'm saying.
roll.
So, yeah, I think we had a good one today, though.
We'll talk more
I didn't even
about
look at
this,
the clock till
this
just
other
now.
shit on
Hey,
my
you know
show
what?
on Monday.
That's right.
We'll continue this conversation on Monday.
Hopefully,
And of course,
I'm not here on Monday talking to you about what happened over the weekend and what's happening with what's going on in Vancouver. We're anticipating nothing's going to happen with this licensing right now, and no raids.
We'll see
or
how
anything
that
like that.
goes.
So
We'll see what happens.
Hopefully no
Monday.
Exactly.
raids.
We're seeing a lot of strong police force lately, guys. We're seeing that with this protest tonight. What happened? I think this is happening. This
Lot
is
of
real now,
RCMP
and we're
in
seeing.
town.
Yeah. A lot of RCP in town.
I was
Well-
actually, a few people have commented, God, I've seen a lot of RCMP
in
downtown
town,
lately.
yeah.
And we kind of sort of wonder,
That's how
are
they're
they
going
going
to
to do
it.
a sweep on these dispensaries? We don't know.
That's
And
not
If
good.
that's going to happen, you had to have your stuff in. If you didn't receive your letter or anything like that, like certain people being told straight out to shut down, and they have. And I know some people say, "Well, screw that." Well, those are the ones that are going to they have to show.
Well,
some
we
kind
won't-
of
So,
support.
we won't let 'em do it.
One thing that's prudent, though, for dispensaries, I might as well get it out now. Come the deadline, it might be prudent for some of these people not to have all their eggs in one basket. Don't have all your money, all your weed in the shop in
and
case
if
they show up. I mean,
Don't have all your weed in one stash container.
Yeah, after this point on, you might want to start considering, hey, we're just gonna downsize whatever until find out what their play is. Let them show their hand.
Move
Anyways,
to
that would be
another
safe.
city.
That's all.
Good
I know we
call,
gotta go.
very
I'll
good
let you
call.
wrap up, my friend.
Good
I
thinking.
think.
Thanks for having me on, my buddy.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Opus.
I think
Always
the
a
good thing
pleasure.
to do would be to expand all across Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Export this
There we
idea
go.
everywhere before they get the chance to put the leashes on us. Anyways, you can watch this guy every Monday, and this girl over here, Carly Marley, every Monday on
My
the
co-host.
420 Lifestyle, right here on Pod TV. And
We got a new backdrop this week too.
All right, yes.
Well, you'll see it on Monday.
You getting a new
Fancy,
backdrop,
fancy.
It's
Huh?
so
When you get a new
we're
backdrop.
working on a brand new studio for Pod TV, actually.
He's getting better than a
Yeah,
backdrop. He's getting more than a backdrop.
We're gonna now. I've been building it with our electrician and the
Gonna write you a check, eh?
drywall guy and everything. We're really getting things set up. The ball is rolling. We have David's old museum. We're converting it into Pot TV studios and our Cannabis Culture offices.
Yeah, we've
So
been
it's
having-
gonna be
actually,
slick.
yeah.
Yeah, and
We've all been involved in this shit. This
yeah,
is going to be
finally
so
gonna
nice.
be a little bit more of a professional. And rather than just setting up on our lounge and doing our shows here, we're gonna actually have a control room, a studio, all the things we really need to make this happen right.
I got two quick announcements. We got an issue of Baked with Tracy Curley in the can that's coming up pretty quick.
Oh, the bacon, the infused bacon
infused
episode.
bacon.
The infused
as well.
Oh man, that's gonna be.
Was
a
it the
big
maple
fucking
bacon
hit,
infused?
Seriously, people are gonna go crazy for that.
And yeah, and as well,
It'll go viral.
I got one more quick good
I
announcement.
did
Also,
a bacon infused with coconut
What?
oil frozen drops.
Where-
The
What
is
other
he
day
talking?
With eggs, onion, and mushrooms. It was amazing.
What, infused breakfast burritos?
So I just did this the other day. I took my
Tracy's
little
over
frozen
here.
drops and I actually, when I was cooking my bacon, I put that on there with the coconut oil, and I added the mushrooms and the onion and cracked an egg on top, and it was very tasty.
So what you're saying is that When I come back in 8 weeks, you're gonna film an episode of Baked with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be
Yay.
awesome.
And you can even use my new studio kitchen.
I've seen Mr. Buffalo's kitchen too. He doesn't do too bad.
There you go. All right. The other good thing I was going to mention, though, also I'm filming the
Thanks, Tracy.
pilot episode of
Okay, I gotta go,
Legal
guys.
Eagles this
Peace,
weekend.
Pod TV.
See you, Johnny. Legal Eagles. This
Legal
weekend.
Eagles with myself and Oxford barrister, educated and multiple country allowed to practice law in both Wales, England, and Canada.
Ow.
Yes, highly educated and well-connected lawyer from Ad Lucem Law Firm. Yes, we're filming Legal Eagles' new show. I talked a little bit about it, and so
New
hopefully
show.
that'll be coming out soon. That's not
New
gonna
Pod
be a
TV show?
Yeah, new Pod TV show, but it won't be live. It's going to be a recorded show, at least for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, brother. Looking forward to it. You can watch Redbeard tomorrow, 4 p.m. on Pod TV from Birkin. Or wait, is he in Birkin every show? I don't even know.
No, he's.
where's
I think he's in the Okanagan.
The Okanagan. Oh, the Beard. And
Beard in the OK Val.
the Beard is going to do some. I heard, according to
The
Sarah,
OK Corral,
that he
yeah.
may be coming with us out to the
Toronto? Karma Cup?
the big event. Now, he's doing some other crazy stuff with his buses. I don't want to give away too many details.
He throws so much cool shit on his show. It's
Yeah,
just
Redbeard's
you never
amazing.
know what
Oh, man, the
Beard's
show's
got
awesome.
going on. That guy's awesome.
The
We
Beard
love you,
Kanagan.
Redbeard.
Green Supreme says Beard Kanagan.
I noticed there's a whole whack of people want T-shirts in the chat. I saw it earlier. 28 Dabs was in Staynet and
Yeah, people want the man.
And who was else? The Resin Girl. We're all like, Resin Girl. I think said send
We
them
need
to
him in
Abby.
the Cannabis Culture store. Let's do this.
All right, let's. let me get a price on shirts and find out what an order's cost and see if I got some cash to get it in and
Could make a fortune.
Hey, you didn't hear me when I said that I was got consultation. I got a consultation, a free business consultation, and I've been sort of pushed in that direction. But you weren't paying attention. I was trying to give you a kudos over there.
Yeah, Tracy.
Thank
we're
you,
gonna see more
Tracy.
stuff from Tracy too on Pod TV. She's got
Don't thank
amazing
me,
stuff going
chat.
on.
Thank Tracy.
Yeah. And
is that good enough? Is that good enough? Is that right?
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go. See.
She has her God Hates Bags bag with her too today.
God hates bags. I love that bag. That's so funny.
I bet. Do you get a lot of comments on it? That's so funny.
It's right up there with Fuck Harper T-shirts.
Yeah, and you should sell those too. I guess that's already somebody
Walked
else
to
is
the
already
airport
selling
with a
those.
Fuck Harper T-shirt carrying that bag.
Well, that was
Now
your
you're
idea,
rocking.
right? You came up with the Fuck Harper. You went
Yeah,
to the.
no.
Yeah.
I just made one day. I was over here from Vancouver Island. I was doing my show when I was upstairs in our other studios.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed up in the morning and I had time to kill and I went, and I just popped into the T-shirt shop and said, yeah, give me a shirt and put Fuck Harper on it. And the guy did. I came on the show and it became like an instant hit. And then I was on Vice Canada documentary for weed. And I wore it there and people are always like, hey, I saw the guy with the Fuck Harper shirt.
Yeah.
It's like Bart Simpson being famous for the I Didn't Do It guy episode.
Yeah.
It's like I'm famous for the Fuck Harper
Good
shirt.
Simpsons
right?
reference, buddy.
Thank you, dude.
I'm
yeah,
loving that.
of course. It's the Simpsons. What the fuck? Of course.
I'm all about the Simpsons references.
All right.
Cool, man.
Thanks for having me
Opus.
on once again. Pod TV, thanks guys for all watching us and being there for us.
Love you,
and all
man. You
that
can
shit.
watch. There was no episode of From Under the Influence or From Under the Sea Desk this week. Either, not one of either of those shows. We had a seminar thing going on here in the lounge, so it kind of got.
Yeah,
postponed till next week. But Marijuana Man and Friends will be back on Wednesday, 4 p.m. You can watch all kinds of fun stuff on Pod TV all week long. Vapor Central stuff, Pod TV stuff. Just go to pod.tv. That's us.
We're taking over the airwaves. That's
Hells
us.
yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you back again next Friday, 4 p.m. You know the spot. Peace.
Cultivate your freedom.